Yeah, man. We in here. Claim your inheritance. I got the big homie. Ratazah, la. And like always, I'm a Zaya Yeholder. You know how I go around here. We talk. We build. Make sure we try to destroy it properly. Destroy the wickedness of this world. That starts with you. You gotta get your behavior right first. Get your lips together next. Get your money right. You know what I'm saying? You gotta do these things. Everything takes planning, preparation. So tonight's topic is correcting your favorite camp. One of these camps gonna pop into our heads tonight, and we just gonna go in on them. Have a good time. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a few special guests. We're gonna see Robert Bassano. Robert Bassano. This man knows that the earth is an elliptoid, flattening elliptoid. And that the part that we live on doesn't move at all. Don't spin. Why would it? You see what I'm saying? So now we might have another special guest after he finish what he's doing. Lee Bracker, a Jewisher who wishes he was a Jew. He gonna come in here and tell us that black people are exactly correct when they say they are Israelites. Don't you look forward to hearing that from a white man? I know you do. Kent Hovind, he running. Told him about flat earth. He don't want to hear about it. He just turning everybody down. But at least he slandered James White properly and told the whole white earth that James Whitewash is an idiot. And and Kent Hovind say he on the mountain of truth, on the top of the mountain of truth. Yeah, it might be Mount Hermon. But see, we on Mount Zion. So we look down and laugh. The heathens are being derision. That's how that go. So I look forward to the night, you know what I'm saying? Keep it conversational, no fighting. Jim, you come in here disrupting, I'm gonna mute you instantly. I think LeRon, he don't come over here no more because I'm tired of muting him and kicking him out from fighting all the time, fighting us, thinking that he's so great. He's better than us because we know we're Israelites and he doesn't. So he tells us he's better than us because it's better to not call yourself an Israelite when you are. Well, that's absurd. Isn't that absurd? So now we're just gonna wait around here till everybody finally figure out what they want to do with itself. We sitting right here. Can y'all hear that music in the background?
Yeah, I hear you just fine, King.
I'm talking about that music. You hear that music?
Yeah, I hear it a little bit. It's real low though.
Oh, okay, good. Because my neighbor is blasting his music to as loud as he could possibly get it. Then he came over and said, "Hey man, is my music too loud?" I said, "It'll be too loud at 8:30." And clearly he forgot. He must be drunk. I went out there trying to look for him, saying, "I'm about to go in. I can't find him nowhere."
Ah,
Doors wide open, lights on. I can't find them though. But yeah, as long as y'all can't hear this, fine. It ain't bothering me too tough. Need to get some of these slow bots in here. Michael Lewis don't never get on no hangouts.
yeah, I think he feel like he too good.
Mm-hmm. Old bald head. What's his anybody know his history?
um, no, not quite. Ain't really. I watch him every now and then, but not too much.
Yeah, 'cause he act like he been around for years and years.
Yeah, I had one encounter with him when when I first started out, he was going in on I don't know if you know about Sakari.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he was going in on Sakari about how, I mean, he'd say his mom is white, so Sakari treated like, I mean, like a heathen, so he felt some type of way. And I was like, he never actually, I mean, disrespect his mom. He just go according to the scriptures.
Hmm. Ain't that interesting? You see somebody say Nation Noise, right? That's the title of their little like group or something. And it says we need to gather at the least 500 serious people that are willing to unite and build together. We need to achieve unity within every black and brown something. Let me pull up the whole thing and read it. Amaziah know about this. We need to achieve every black and brown community by funding ourselves. This change will impact us the same way the Black Wall Street change did, by economically creating our own system, by taking care of each other the same way we look for others to take care of us, buying open land to grow our own food, buying property to house our own families with cheaper rent and no rent, or no rent, buying our own buildings so we can support our upcoming designers, inventors, doctors, artists, and utilize every other talent each one of us will bring to the table. I'm hoping that you're as ready for change as I am. You see, you see, the word is getting out, man. You got to separate from these comedians in office, these politicians. You see what I'm saying? They might, you know what I'm saying? They might possibly want your best interest. I don't know. I doubt it. But they are outnumbered. They start off wanting your best interest at heart, but they're outnumbered by uh the heartless. They're outnumbered by people who don't care. You know what I'm saying? They cremate their cares in a ritual. See what I'm saying?
Con.
So I need to figure out how to contact these people. Let me see here.
So who is your who the worst count that you think about when you say that?
Worst camp. The worst camp in my mind is IUIC, hands down. When it comes to Messianic, them boys is thoroughly wicked.
Yeah, the leader is an agent, a police officer.
Uh, Thoroughly wicked, and they don't know it because you know what I'm saying. The camp, um, just the whole scenario of a camp constantly recruits new people. So You know what I'm saying? They're constantly surrounded by people who don't know nothing. See what I'm saying? So that's how that works. You just always bringing in new people. And so the leader automatically downloads everything he knows to the student. And if you say anything different, you got to go. So the schools are effectively duplicating the teacher of each school, the principal of each school. See what I'm saying? So that retardation goes to every single student, and you better not say anything different, or it's over for you.
Yep.
And then they got these old beefs from when they first started that trickle down to the students, and they hate every other camp, have no brotherly love. You know what I'm saying? Those people, these in their current state, they'll never unify with any other camp. It's not possible because you know what I'm saying, they've been brainwashed too tough. But if we do this the right way, and you know what I'm saying, get a real studio and all that, and have great promotion like Sarnetta, then I think we can unify the camps absent of the principals, unless we can convince the principals. Now that might be a possibility too.
Fine.
You know what I'm saying? Because the only reason the principals are doing those things is because, you know what I'm saying, because of the bag. They're getting money. So if we can show them a better way to get money other than lying to, you know what I'm saying, and separating from one another, you know what I'm saying, and lying to their students, then they'll go along with it for sure, for certain. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, that's right. You know, when I think about when you said to unify the leaders and the oppressors of these camps, you know, that I think about the old wine bottles, you know, can't they already have
Aye.
that mindset, you know what I mean? So that'll be a real miracle, a work of the Heavenly Father, man.
It certainly will. It certainly will. You're right about that, man. Can't put new wine in old bottles. You're right
A lot of
about
people
that.
want power too, man. Power. Men don't want to give up power. That's why they don't want to unite because nobody want to give up their flock. You see what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So I think the unite thing might be at the very end or where the Most High make us unite, where you ain't gonna have a choice but to, you know what I'm saying, not worry about a particular doctrine too hard, where you still willing to call him your brother. But these men ain't trying to give up their flocks, man. That's point blank. You know what I'm saying?
We got the big homie. Lion Bear.
Crazy boy.
He's with us tonight, boy. You see him chiming in, and this man is intelligent, I'm telling you, bro, and he's not been indoctrinated. You see what I'm saying? Like you go.
And he's not a flat earther. I think. Wait, he's not a flat earther, right?
You a round earther, a ball earther, Lion Bear?
Nah, I'll put it like this. I can argue with flat Earth. I can argue
with flat Earth. Yeah, that's right. You did chime in on that. I forgot about that.
and I can make a
But
strong.
he believes in a spherical run, right?
What I'm saying that if it's a circle, it's a flat disc circle, deep and all that good stuff, but it's flat. Now I don't know what it is.
Is the Earth? Is the moon round? Is the moon round?
Yes.
It appears that way.
Okay, so as far as your belief as far as Earth goes, you'll make some type of argument that it's flattening as we speak or something, or are you saying it's
that it's always been flat? Now the moon and the sun. Let's say that I was raised by wolves, and all I'm seeing is wolves all day. That don't make me a wolf, because I'm looking at wolves all day. So it doesn't, just because I'm standing on something on the earth and looking up at the sun and the moon, I see round. It doesn't have anything to do with what I'm actually standing on. So
yeah, okay. So you don't understand the geocentric attitude towards how the planets revolve.
this is what I'm saying.
There ain't no planets, but let me introduce
There ain't no planets? Wait a minute. Are you serious?
Introduce a special guest, Jim Barack. The special guest.
What kind of planets don't exist?
Let me introduce a special guest, Jim Barack. Okay. If you become disruptive, you're gonna be instantly muted for the rest of your life. Okay, now.
All right.
Gotcha. Now.
You got me.
Special guest
You got me.
of the evening, Lee.
Hey, how you doing?
Bracker.
Yeah, that's me. I'm here. Present. Accounted for.
How's it going?
Everybody's clapping in the show. Yes, sir. This guy is the dumbest guy I ever met in my entire life.
I get that a lot. You would.
Yes, sir. So
This is what I am. You ready?
Yeah.
I'm banned from every single radio show, every network in the United States as well as offshore.
You gotta be kidding me.
And I'm proud of it now. I wish they made trophies for it. I put it on that mantelpiece over there.
And
It just shows that I tell them.
Is it because you're a flat earther? Is it because you're a flat earther?
I did join, basically. I had like a join thing. No, I got in it when Patricia Steer was having trouble with trolls. And I learned of it through a friend of mine who asked me to get involved with Flat Earth to, validate whether what they're saying was right or wrong. And I said I didn't want to have anything to do with it. It's just like, regardless whether Earth is a pumpkin or a banana, I don't care. I'm trying to do something. She said, no, come on, do this as a favor. And I said, all right, I don't care what form it is. No, I wasn't really like that, but I just was so busy I didn't really have the time. But once I got involved in it, it was the key to proving everything that I was working on. So I was very grateful for Sasha to help me out with that. She's one of my part of my investigation team with the kind of things that I do, investigating New World Order crimes and stuff like that. And so it took months to finally figure it out, and I flushed out Mark Sargent, and he's basically the Freemason in there that totally disrupted this particular movement away from proving.
And so where is Eric? So
what I was able to prove. So to answer your question, am I a flat earther? I got involved in to learn it so that I could, evaluate it and then apply it for what I do. So I don't belong to movements, but I wanted to really help these people because I saw a problem. When I figured out that there were people in there that were purposely steering it into a different area where they would never get the answers, well, I had to get involved in it as an investigator.
Well,
I did that.
The problem you have is that you said it was purposely. If you have compiled history with physicists.
Who am I talking with right now? I'm sorry.
Okay, go on.
Who's speaking?
I don't know. Was I interrupted? I don't know.
I'm asking who I'm speaking with right now.
Oh, Jim. Hey, how are you?
Questions on my integrity are now going to be questioned. So rather than this going into a proofing session, I guess I'm going to have to validate who I am.
Oh, you're breaking up a little bit, but can you hear me good?
I can hear you perfectly fine. I asked the question, okay. What's your name and who are you, please?
My name is Jim Barrack,
yeah.
And I'm a married man with 5 children. I'm agnostic.
You don't have to go there.
Oh, what do you want?
Are you for or against proving what the world is? Are you going to be a ball earther? Because if you are, I can.
No, I'm a total ball earther. Yes, the Earth is spherical in some form. Yes.
Well, I'm one of the best in that whole flat Earth thing, but I'm not going to contest it here. That's not the point of this discussion. I was told to come in on this one tonight to talk about other things. So if you're going to open your mouth at me at any point in this thing, I'm going to get out of this conversation. Show your face.
Because you're obviously white. Oh, sure. Absolutely. Hang on. 1 second here.
I'm a profiler, and I could tell who and what you're talking about just by watching your eyes. That's why I want to see your video.
Oh.
Have you appeared on Patricia's show? Have you appeared on Patricia's show or
No,
Mark?
never.
Okay. Are you friends with him?
Anyway, so I'm sorry. I just look at the science and just say there's no way it's flat. Yeah, the one thing would be like there's an ice wall.
Okay,
Or
he's on permanent timeout. Alrighty. Bracker just said he wants to talk about other things, and he is our special guest for this evening. So that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to deal with his topic. But I know one thing. The people want to know, right? Because I heard something about you. I don't know if this is the time and the place to bring it up, and you can choose not to answer it. But what is your opinion on Farrakhan's assertion that they are children of Israel?
It's probably right.
Right?
R-I-G-H-T. Right.
Oh,
Correct.
it's probably correct. Okay. All right. So what do you want to talk about?
Well, I'm a little bit shaken up because the guy at Brack, or whatever his name was, I know the guy. I've seen it, and I know that he trolls a lot of the flat Earth sites and stuff like that. Not that the guy's a bad guy and he's listening to this. I don't know because I don't see his picture here. But what these guys do is they do anything to defend the scientific community, which is a big contrivance. Science has tried to distort the truth for centuries now, and I was like this guy. When I got involved with the proofing and understanding what it was all about, then I knew who was genuinely trying to understand this information and who was not. So guys like this, they'll never change their perceptions or observations or anything. They will grab out of thin air answers for whatever it is they got. No proof, no backup. And when they try, they're drawing from science, which has all been disproven. So that's where I got a little riled up. This guy.
Okay. Here, let's go in on your topic.
And
I understand that you have information that is quite interesting. We talked a little bit about it earlier today. I don't know if that's what you want to talk about tonight, but go ahead and give a brief introduction of what you want to discuss.
Oh, okay. I'm talking. Is that the that I was talking right now?
Say again.
Who's I speaking with right now?
Oh, this
you.
is Bob.
Oh, you sounded a lot different on the earlier convo with Robert. Okay. Yeah. Well, what we were talking about was a recent proof that the Earth actually is a different construct than just what the flat earthers are trying to describe. They're only looking at the surface area of the Earth. They're not looking at anything below. So therefore, they're never going to arrive at their actual formula for what the Earth is, because they also have been diverted away from the Bible. They're not looking at Genesis. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So they can't.
And they can't reach below, so they can't see what's down there, so they can't formulate a clear model in their current condition. So we normal people, investigative people, have to look at the models of the people with the resources and the motivation to explore the entire Earth system. And then they keep it under wraps for themselves so they can understand something over the rest of the population.
Right. Are you able to share screens in this format?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, you can? You get the picture or that website link that I had, or that Robert had sent to you? Because if you show that, you can show, the people in the panel and whoever's watching the show what that new discovery was on the bill, that particular one.
Let's see here. They sent me quite a few of them. The Navy one? No, not the Navy one. Okay.
Yeah, I can pull it up for you.
Okay. The floor is still open, fellas, so chime in when you want.
There. And that's the basic link to the website, too, if anybody wants to kind of weave themselves in and out, different article posts, and the different pages that I got up there. This article was posted a day or two ago, and I compiled a couple of pictures into sort of a format that we could see how the industry, from the media to our federal government, has hidden in plain sight the truth about the form of the world, in symbols, of course, but it's pretty relevant to proving that they're hiding all this stuff. And it's helpful when setting up sort of an argument about who it is we actually are. Which would, I don't know if you're trying to prove
And
who the
who
chosen
are?
people are.
Oh, okay. So we're the chosen people.
I think all of us are.
The whole Adam race.
Yeah. Kind of branched off from Noah, and whatever peoples were put onto that ark would be the closest genetic descendants of Adam and Eve, I guess.
Okay.
But many of us got corrupted, right? So everybody's pointing the fingers at whatever looks like doesn't fit, you know. So you have all that argument there. I'm Jewish, so all my life people said, well, you're from the chosen tribe, you're the chosen people, and that kind of disturbed me. But aren't we all brothers and sisters? You know, what's wrong with this picture? I couldn't figure it out. You know, what it is that they're people that got sold out the dark side of things, and so they want everything easy, and so they're just corrupted. It would be in their favor.
What are we looking at?
What are we looking at here?
Yeah.
Well, what we're looking at is a new way to look at the seal of the pyramid on the back side of the dollar bill. And it was pointed out to me by somebody and said, well, that's the model of the earth. That it's a geometric form pyramid. And it's been talked about like that before, but I hadn't seen any references on the internet that said that this is what is representing the theory that the earth is actually a upside down pyramid. There it is. So they were right. Up in the area that you see underneath the New World Order Latin banner, that would basically symbolize the vault, the firmament. So the surface of the bottom of the pyramid is our, what we call earth and the seas. And then on the left and right side of the banners, the way that thing, the banner sort of curves up and down and inside and out in a convoluted way, would represent the foundations of the pillar of the firmament. That's one way of looking at it. And then what you see inside there is, you know, the trees and the plants and the herbs and all the food that we feast.
That's why I was noticing that. Yeah, look, this is look like vegetation here, and an atmosphere.
You know that artist named Escher?
No.
If you type in, I think, CSHER or SHCER. He's the one that drew all of those geometric forms that, if you look at it one way, it looks like it's forward. If you look at it another way, it's backwards or away from you. EC. Oh, Escher Stairs. Do you see that? You can click on that.
Yes. Mhm.
I'm sure you can recognize some of this stuff.
Yeah, I do.
What the secret societies do is they know how to make things elusive, visual illusions, optical illusions. And Escher is a perfect example to show that that's what we're seeing on the dollar bill. And it's very intricate if you look at the etchings of the plates that they use to print these monetary things. So when you're looking at the pyramid upside down on the dollar bill, when you look at it right side up, the optical illusion is as if it's the way you see things, the land going up to the pyramid, but upside down it looks like it's back the other way, almost.
Mhm.
You follow that. So instead of being forward of the pyramid on the side, it's going back in the distance. I thought that was interesting when I took a look at that. So when you scroll down to the other pictures, here would be a representation of the Earth model according to Genesis. And there are several of them. I just chose this one because it had a little bit of writing in there and kind of descriptive. And we're looking at an upside down pyramid. You have the Earth, the seas, and then the foundations that hold up the thing, but it's almost in a pyramid form. I guess they were following the format of Genesis, because I forgot what the actual words are in it. I don't have it memorized, but it's pretty accurate. As you scroll down a little more, you're going to see the film John Carter, where they actually showed us a visual representation in three-dimensional form of the Earth. It's an upside-down pyramid. The way you can tell in this scene in John Carter is the image to the right. That's the top view looking down, like a bird's eye aerial view.
Mhm.
That's a square.
Mhm. Mhm.
Looking to the left, all of the things that are strange or organic looking, those are the foundations and the pillars, I think. So we're really looking at something that's kind of covering the fact that that's an actual pyramid. And they called out Temple of Is in the movie. In Grand Canyon, we have a monument in there called Isis Temple, which I found to be one of the pyramids in the pyramid array in there. The way I discovered that, you have to look at that article that I sent. I know you didn't have to. It's massive. It's very big. I was at a point where I was studying Hoover Dam and had to look at Grand Canyon just to see if there was something that would help support and substantiate what I was doing to prove that Hoover Dam was a pyramid, modern day made pyramid. And what I discovered was that all the stars of Orion and the Pleiades system match the top high altitude markers of the main monument of Grand Canyon. Look over the south rim as a tourist, you're looking at all that beauty in there.
Mhm.
It wasn't formed by a river. It was revealed by the flood waters that had destroyed the Earth's surface of all pyramids.
Exactly.
When it was,
And you know what the conversation is reminding me of? The continents, underneath the continents. Every continent has this shape. You got the large body mass up top, and then it goes into a pyramid form in the deepest part of the ocean. All continents except for Africa do that.
I wouldn't know that because I never came across illustrations that depict what you just explained. It would be interesting if I could find articles on that, whoever talked about it. I'd like to see how they show that graphically. That's interesting. But if you can imagine, the original Earth model that God created didn't have as much water as it has now. And because of that, animals and human beings can travel anywhere on Earth.
Oh, that's
without
right.
without having an oceanic barrier.
That's right.
Why don't you go ahead and scroll down just a little bit. And then you could see all of those together.
Mm-hmm.
It's important because I had not seen this relationship before with the dollar bill. All I had to go by was movie references. You know, Hollywood basically is part of the occult, and that they like to stick all these symbols in them, occult messages. And now when you see something on a federal note, that is very helpful.
What do you think about the Ark of the Covenant on the back of the dollar bill?
What covenant?
The Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, Michael Fazio pointed out the Ark of the Covenant on the back of the dollar bill.
Yeah, I forget where that. I heard that. I forget where it is. The other seal with the eagle.
Yeah, well, you know, they say that the cherubim is the little leaves or whatever going around the two seals, and where it says one in the middle of the dollar bill, he said that's the mercy seat, and the things on the side represent the 24 elders, and the rod that you see represent the handles of the Ark of the Covenant that's on it.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. All of that stuff applies. Oh, we got a picture here. Okay, this one picture here with the two fingers pointing, that's the Ark of the Covenant, right?
Right. The two things going around. Exactly.
Oh. Oh. Okay, I'm seeing a little something there.
Remember how the Ark of the Covenant? Remember how the wings are going out? The two things on each side of the seals represent one cherubim, and you can see their eyes when you form. You can see it for a picture graph or the image on the side of the pyramid, and you see it on one on the other side. And where the one at, that's the mercy seat, and the two rods, one upon where it says $1, that's one rod, and one above in God we trust on the other side is the other rod.
Oh. So these are the cherubim. Way over here.
Exactly.
And this is the mercy seat. This whole thing is the mercy seat.
Correct.
Okay. That's cool.
You know, Jim Barak is posting here. It looks like he's listening to this show, and I bet you he's pretty upset because he thinks I don't know what he thinks of me. But I'm gonna tag him as a troll, full-on troll, and I suggest that you never let him. There's no business in here. No, seriously. I
got that from 20 people, so I think it's kind of unanimous. Yeah.
Hey, can I make a
Well,
statement?
I pretty much helped Dr. Michael Nicitelli with his website, iPredator.co, and we evaluated a number of people, trolls and media trolls, and the whole bit. And I learned a lot from him. He learned a lot from me. And so from there, he was able to develop a pretty good basis for creating our legislature, whether it'll pass or not, to help defend people from being trolled by people like Jim Barak. I'm sure he's a nice guy, and he's got his family, like he says, and all that. But he's the type of person that will put a stop to the progress by which truthing takes on a very valuable direction to correct what is wrong. He's defending science, you know, and I think Robert was talking about how Scott trying to argue him with regard to NASA, and what Robert has done with NASA is basically shown that they literally had lied. Got him on record doing it. Jim Barak would be defending NASA, I'll bet. Because NASA is telling us that the world is a ball sphere.
You said
And
NASA.
NASA is trying to teach us that the
Right.
world is spherical.
That's
That's
correct.
Jim Barak. So the guy should be wearing a shirt. It's NASA. He doesn't belong in any of these forums.
NASA is my God. Okay, we got a comment by Aratazar. We want to get that in here. You there,
Okay.
bro?
Yeah, I'm here. I just wanted to ask Lee, like you know, I'm a very like surface dude. If something don't seem right, I push to the side. When I was looking into that Earth, I went into basic geometry, and it told me that things in nature are cones, spheres, and cylinders, and I just put it together, and basically that was my formation of the Earth, how it was made. You know, he put and that's what they took from us was that the what was it the cone, you know, and that is the spirit of the spirit. That's how we get that fire. Um, the waters he caused to float on top. That's how we get you know, these volcanoes in these cone shapes. And I don't. I just wanted to hear, do that make any sense to you?
Total sense. Total, I'm still trying to clarify it, understand it. Where I got with that is that earlier in the day I was talking to Deva about what I think may be true about our mountains. Many of our mountains were ancient pyramids that weren't fully destroyed by the flood. What we're looking at is the rubble, the remains, in a very dilapidated condition. So I think we were talking about Mount Everest being the highest mountain, K2, and you got several others, that there had to have been enough water to cover them in order to to power them down, to destroy whatever mechanism was creating the fire within, or pyro, middle. And these tunnels that they're drilling into mountains to get trains to pass through, to cut time by going, you know, taking the shortcut, I think is the way that they gain access to the center of these pyramids, because they're trying to get at these mechanisms. Maybe. I was going to go somewhere with something before that. I was asked a question. Could you repeat that question again?
Now I was just saying, like, basic geometry wasn't just my model of it, and I was just asking them, like, you know, they make things so complicated that, you know what I mean, they basically confusing us, you know, making all these shapes and putting all these designs in front of us, you know, and
The conical, conical shapes and the volcanoes is what you brought up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like
Okay.
basic geometry says that everything in nature takes its form from it. You know, the cone, the sphere, and the cylinder. And what I think was that the Most High put, you know, a cylinder around the cone and the sphere. The sphere is the water, and the cone is that fire, that pyro that you're talking about.
Yeah, I see where that's going. Now, one of the descriptions or definitions of a pyramid, as part of its characteristics, the way the elements work with each other, is that a pyramid, in whatever geometric form that it takes, whether it's a round, conical shape, or a four-sided, or even a five-sided, or a three-sided pyramid that goes to an apex, with whatever geometric shape the base would be. The pyramids of Egypt are square. That's what they're showing in John Carter that I just showed you. And the Mayan pyramids, they draw water up from underneath. They're like magnets. The two elements are drawn together. So if pyramids are drawing water up, I think that the conical shaped pyramids are drawing the magma up, and we call them volcanoes. It's a different type of pyramid than the type of pyramid that we're looking at. Say, we talked about Mount Everest. If you look at that thing, it looks like a five-sided pyramid.
Mm-hmm.
It's got clear, distinct edges on it. Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The tectonic activity can't explain that. And if a volcano, the way geology describes it, that it grows on itself, and as the magma comes down, it keeps flowing down, and it goes down at whatever angle this thing is, and they have a perfect circle, may also have been constructed by mankind to be this form. And that was a particular type of pyramid that would draw, heat or fire, molten minerals up from underneath. So I talked about Hoover Dam, a modern day pyramid, and what it is 1/3 of a cone. If that, in fact, is horizontal Stargate configuration that they intend to bring the underworld beings up to the surface as a portal to create a war against human beings, and that's their portal of entry from the underworld. It can probably also bring up, magma just like a regular volcano would. It's just a theory, but that might be possible.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And I'm kind of juggling that with the idea that maybe they're going to destroy Hoover Dam. Whatever they do with the dam, whether it's going to be the sort of like the doomsday machine in which they destroy building civilizations and whatever they do with it, block out the light of the sun, if that in fact is what it's going to do, that they're going to destroy it in the end. It's going to be a one-time use thing, just like the Trade Center towers were a one-time Stargate.
Yeah.
Nobody really questions how all that metal disappeared in 2001. It's just that whatever was left of those two buildings, it was gone. You know what I mean? Because if it was there, those two buildings would have crushed the subway systems underneath, which weren't very far underneath the base of the building. So the steel disappeared. And it was my contention with Dr. Judy Wood that wrote the book, Where Did the Towers Go? 700-page book, and her empirical evaluation of what happened in 2001 never, ever discussed the possibility that those twin towers was another Stargate mechanism, and that they created whatever energy was required in order to disintegrate all the material, turn the concrete to dust, and make that metal disappear. That may have been how they transported it to another country like China. Then they used that material, once they got it over there, to build ships and rails and whatever.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Good Lord. Now see, that's something I had not noticed. I was wondering why it was so dusty as it was falling here. And you're saying that should not have been dust. That should have been steel. Is that what you're saying?
When they demolish the building, it comes down in blocks, cracked, broken, whatever.
That's right.
Whatever dust. No, but not the whole thing. They rendered all of that concrete to dust. It didn't come down in chunks. Whatever was not affected by that free energy did look like that, but it was very little in comparison to the buildings in totality. There were hundreds of millions of pounds building. Tons, however, they're described. What was it, 500,000 tons, which included concrete and steel.
Man, I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I shouldn't be quoted on everything I said, so it's easy to just pull up a tab and say, how much do the buildings weigh, and they'll probably give you a whole list of all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But regular demolition doesn't happen the way it did. So everybody, they pretty much talks about, but nobody ever discussed the fact that the conditions by which those buildings were rendered to dust, Dr. Judy Wood said it was dustified. She kind of coined that word. Was that it was the Stargate technology. And they portaled that material off to another place on this Earth plane, not to another world. What Flat Earth did for me was prove that we can't really get beyond the firmament. We are it. This is it. There is no other galaxy beyond what they try to trick us to believe. So they didn't take it to, any of these stars like the name star, Polaris, Sirius. I mean, get serious. They sent all that material somewhere else on the planet. That's if this actually happened. Now, here's what I know. I talked with a guy named Stu Webb, who was a government whistleblower, and what he had done was he had friends in the Pentagon, which he validated or verified or negated anything that he would question. Like, did this happen? And then he would get an answer from people that were willing to spill the beans, even though they're still working, and possibly with retired Pentagon employees, higher ups. And I had talked with a guy named Jim Fetzer, had me on a show once where I discussed this possibility that Hoover Dam is the doomsday machine. And I got in touch with Stu Webb again. He's part of Kerry Cassidy's circle of friends, or at one time, not anymore. And I asked him, I said, what do you think about Hoover Dam? And he says, I don't think it's Stargate, but I'll check for you. When he got back with me, he said what they did with Hoover Dam, what he was told was that, for one thing, they used like 5 generators to supply energy to the underground military bases, or DUMs, and that would include S1 through 4 and Area 50 to 54. So Area 51 would get power because they don't have their own generating plants for the whole facility. They have to have assistance. And what better way to get energy would be to get it from Hoover Dam.
Right. Was he on her show? Was he ever on her show?
No. Jim Fetzer?
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
You wouldn't want him on your show. You wouldn't want him. He's just this old guy.
Okay.
He's kind of, I don't even like him anymore. He won't. Well, I told you that I was banned from all these shows. He won't even have me on. That's because he's also a ball.
Be putting hacks on there sometimes.
Well, they just don't want to see the whole picture. They want to sit on what they know, and they're afraid to venture. They don't want to even disprove their own theories, and I'm all about disproving my theories.
Yeah.
If somebody can do that, then I'm relieved. I don't have to worry about Hoover Dam being the doomsday machines. If somebody can prove it to me, then I get to rest. So far, nobody's been able to do that. But this is what else Stu Webb said about Hoover Dam. He said that that they used that electricity to bring down those towers. They needed that much electricity to create the conditions in which they brought down those buildings using the technology that they were doing, the Tesla technology. That plus the Category 4 hurricane that was off the coast that day that they kept secret. Somebody just figured it out a couple days later and said, how come the news didn't even report the fact that there was a Category 5 hurricane off of the coast of Manhattan the time that those Trade Center towers come down? It's really wild. But they needed the power of nature, and they needed the additional power from this hydroelectric power plant, Hoover Dam. The way Stu Webb described it, he says that they channeled it through a satellite, which I don't believe anymore, but maybe they did, because the way Roberts described it is that there are no satellites out there. Many people, I don't know, whatever it is, they got it over there across the country, and they were able to do what they did, which explains why just a couple of days before, they experienced a massive brownout in California. This is when Enron got in trouble. because they were lying about a lot of things. But California was getting those rolling brownouts, if you all remember.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, well, San Diego was left with power, and that's because that's what they were doing. They're bringing down these trade center towers.
So you think Area 51 is real?
Oh yeah, I've never been there, so I can't tell you honestly with 100% satisfaction and proof. But there are many people that do stake that claim, whistleblowers.
So, what do you think
I mean,
about
if they don't let people in there, then it's got to be there, right?
Right. I think it's a real place, but as far as like they captured some green men or some aliens, nah. I think that's just some spookism right there.
Well, it may be true. It's not the aliens that we all would like to think they are, because we've been conditioned by the propaganda machine to think that they're coming from an off-world up there, coming down that way. They're underworld beings, which is why they're underground. They got these bases underground in order to contain them, because they cannot thrive on our terra forma existence with oxygen and all that.
Yeah, you got to study the underground caverns and stuff. They built a
I can believe that because I remember as a grown, cause I had a dream a long time ago, man, as a grown ass man, that I came back to my neighborhood and some guy took me down under the ground where these people was living at. It was the weirdest thing I ever had. It had happened to me as a grown man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't look at stuff like that, so it was kind of bewildering.
which was a dream.
But I know, he introduced me to some people under the ground. So when he talked about, he believed they took the people under the ground instead of coming out of the atmosphere. I kind of could ride with that more better than aliens.
Yep, that's exactly how I told you. You got it when you study the underground caverns, right? They built a dome on top of a dome is an underground. What is it called? Deep underground military base. So that's why they call it dumb, because it's dumb to do that. But they built it over top of this gigantic underground cavern that was already there. So it was like, well, yeah, we built decks 1 through 16, but the 17 through 24 was already there. And it was like, what?
Yeah, I heard some. I seen something a long time ago about that. How they was taking a lot of the underground cities that the natives had, and they was fortifying them with concrete and turning them into underground military bases. So I definitely ride with you on that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Lee, what about the have you ever investigated the HARP program?
Right. Some people say that it's decommissioned, but I don't know. I'll tell you what I know about HARP that not a lot of people know about, and it comes from the Russian intel. They say that its primary function is to map, locate, chart, and observe and keep monitored the near Earth wormhole gate portal, if that makes sense. A guy named Kip.
I blame that on dollar. What do you think? Should I shift the blame to dollar for HARP? Eric Dollard.
Oh, Eric Dollard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I talked to him before, but I never asked that question. Oh, I did. Yeah, that was the day that Robert was talking to him.
Because he kept saying, yeah, man, I had a whole fields and fields of antennas that I was playing with, and they took all my stuff.
Oh shit.
That's what HARP it looks like. It's just fields and fields of antennas.
Oh yeah, you can see pictures of it if you do Google image search. It's like a square.
Mm-hmm.
If you look at it, yeah, and they just got these antennas pointed straight upward. I have a feeling that what they were trying to do also was chip away at the firmament so that they could get at the black goo or the waters above. Use that for the CERN technology, trying to create, the black hole technology.
What are they doing with that? With acoustics or laser?
HARP is like a radio antenna, but instead of radiating out, it's like a directional thing into a beam, so they're able to beam. But the way I see it, it doesn't look like it modulates. It's just going straight up. I don't know how that thing operates.
Hey Lee, can I ask you something? I'm not here. I'm not going to get into the flat Earth debate thing tonight, but I just wanted to ask you, because this thing that puzzles me the most, I can yet seem to find how can they explain meteorites coming into the atmosphere and how big they are. Can you explain that?
Well, that might be what they're chipping away at the inside of the firmament, trying to break it, trying to breach it. Don't know.
Yeah, I was looking at the Tunguska. It was like an explosion back in the early 1900s, and they said that they heard like it was sounded like glass was shattering when they seen it.
Yeah. Yeah, I heard that too just recently, as a matter of fact. So it kind of goes with the idea that the firmament is some sort of glass construct.
I think, well, this is just a very outrageous theory, but I'm leaning towards it. I think it's made of sapphire. And I think that accounts for the sky looking blue and the oceans looking blue.
Mm-hmm. I kind of looked into a question as to why the sun is white now, when decade before the chemtrailing, you look up at the noontime sun, and it still looked orange, yellow golden sun, not white like it is right now. That what may be happening is that our atmosphere at a high level had gold, because when people are speaking of Planet X and that the reason why they need gold, the Anunnaki, if you hear of that, want gold so that they could model atomic powder form of it, spread it through their atmosphere in order to bounce the intense light of the sun away so that they don't burn up.
Yeah.
I think what they're really talking about is the Earth, and that the ozone layer is really what that is. It's gold. So if they're harvesting the gold, they're somehow getting it from the atmosphere for their, the secret societies are collecting all the gold that they can, which explains why there's a depletion of the ozone layer. Nothing to do with chlorofluoro, Danny, the
at all. CO2, carbon dioxide.
No, the propellant. What was it?
Chlorofluoro,
whatever.
Yeah, for the cans, the aerosol can.
Yeah, that stuff. Depleting the ozone. I don't buy that for a second. How can we prove it? How can they prove it?
Yeah. They just made it up.
So, just again, but it was a thought. So the skies and the waters are blue in color because of sapphire.
Got to be.
Maybe, yeah.
It's an absolute fact in my imagination. I can't prove it at all. I don't even have evidence.
Hey, I feel you, DeVar. It's real, brother. It's real, though. It's real. No joke, all jokes aside.
Hey, the Bible is the evidence, though. You know what I'm saying? It says the sapphire is under his feet, and that is, you know what I'm saying, right there. He lives right above the firmament. You know what I'm saying? So that's just, hey, I can't see anything other than, but I'm trying to figure out how in the world is it so clear at night, though? Or am I looking at actually just a darkened form of the sapphire that is so smooth and laid out so distinctively? That's why when you look into it, you see the sparkles, but you don't see. You can't see through it.
Well, some stars look blue to me. Other stars look orange and red.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's real. Cause that would trips me out, man. Like like you said, like at night you can see all the stars, but in the daytime you ain't seeing nothing.
No.
Or should I say nothing?
Well, you see the moon, which is interesting. You can see the moon during the day. So I wonder what explains that. Because they say
underneath.
What shape of the moon? What shape do you think the moon is?
What shape?
Uh-huh.
I don't know. I heard one.
No, because I'm trying to figure out. Because I was asking somebody the question. Now I'm not being like ridiculed, or not, I'm not ridiculing nobody or nothing. But I just, just being an observer on this earth for 36 years. Because I'm 36. Well, since I remember seeing first in the moon, I put it like that. But make a long story short, when you look at the moon, when you look at the landscape, you see that landscape is like it's going around that curvature of it. And I have yet to be able to ask explain that, like, why is it like that? Because, I think it says a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
And but see, if it's in fact underneath the firmament in our atmosphere, which I think it is, then those craters can't be asteroids, and then it makes more sense when this other guy said that asteroids cause linear craters as well, but you don't see one linear crater on the moon. They're all circular, perfect circles.
Gentlemen, when I return with my coffee, which I'm jonesing for, I really need this coffee. I'm going to lay something on you that's pretty incredible. But I'd like your opinion, too. You could disagree with it if you want. But I tried to present it in the flat earth communities, and they basically were like, they didn't know what to think, so they never brought me into their forums or radio shows on it. But I think that you get interested in it. It might explain the craters of the moon to you better.
Let's see what you got.
Yeah, let me get my coffee. I'll be right back.
Yeah, just
you guys enjoying the show, man?
Yeah, most definitely.
Oh yeah, man. That's why I had to start asking.
You're not an expert. You're not an expert in science. You guys.
Oh man, look at this guy. Look at this guy, man. Yo, man, what rock you came
Well,
up on?
I would love to debate you. What do you got?
No, he thinks the Earth is round.
I mean, yeah, I think that's round.
You just asked the gentleman a question about the Earth and the moon being round, and now you're like question. So. I mean, so how do you prove that the Earth is not relative? Oh, he adjusted my volume again. Claim you are the biggest piece of shit.
Hey man, you loud. Hey man, what are you talking about, man? You super loud, man. I hear you loud. I got my earplug out.
No. Be respectful. Tell me that I'm loud. I'll calm down. And you can do that. But this guy, he thinks he's fucking the shit. Like, I'll turn his mic down all the way, shut me off so I'm not even involved in this conversation.
Yeah, because we're not.
Can you just get to the point, man?
Tonight is not debate night.
Post it publicly, but you post it publicly.
Tonight is not debate night, man.
But you posted it publicly.
Yeah, but every night is.
Somebody, wait a minute. You should put a disclaimer on it then. Then you should say, hey, look. It's just for my fucking homies, and that's it, right?
Oh, well, you can be a homie.
This guy's a comedian.
You're a junk. You're junk, dude. You're junk, dude. You junk, dude. You don't even follow through, dude. You act like your Bible is everything. It's like insane. It's insane. You come to this white guy for
bring out your information. Why don't you just bring out your information and shut up?
No.
Bring out your information.
White guy for this junk. You come to this white guy for this junk, and you just all over the place. I mean, seriously.
So we're supposed to listen to you, white guy.
You go to this white guy for this shit.
You're a white guy.
Going to this white guy for this shit.
So we're supposed to listen to a bald head white guy.
Oh, jeez. Am I bald? No, I'm not bald.
Bald.
You know, what difference does it make if he's bald or white? You're going. You say
spherical.
Yeah, but you have the same Amaziah approach.
Back in time
it's
out.
like Okay, you do
Hey,
second.
So
Madon,
if you guys take a look at Jim Brock, what he writes here, he's writing in
I can
all
hear you.
capital letters. Can you guys hear me? Am I on mute? No.
No.
yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Anybody that writes in all caps, they're fanatics. They've got a psychopathy about them that this is a indication that he's a troll. And he left the chat, if you see, and then I wrote, I don't know if he left before or after I wrote to indicate to everybody, I said, everyone in chat, note that Barack writes in caps. It's the signature of a troll, the psychopathy of a fanatic. Jim, get out while you're ahead. And then under that, he writes, Jim Barack, join the group. So he must be in here right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that him yelling right now?
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I suggest you get him the hell out because he has no idea what he's talking about. Never will. We're trying to solve a world problem, and he just wants to prove whether he's right or wrong. It's all about him.
Yep. Yep.
Hey, Madon, I just wanted to say, like,
What's up?
when you look at a flashlight, the flashlight is like the surface of it is flat, but when you cut that light on, it becomes a ball of light when you look at it. I've seen light so intense that it seems like it's dripping. You know, I've seen it dripping, like, and that's something I can't explain, but it's happening. You know what I mean? And that's the same way I feel about the sun and the moon. It's a luminary, so it's gonna appear round, but it's really just a flat surface.
Uh-huh. Well, I'd like to share something that might interest you. What we talk about in the Flat Earth forums is what the actual description of the vanishing point parallax phenomena is. And what that means is that when you're looking at a distance, there's a point at which things tend to vanish. So you look at the table in front of you like this one, or the railroad tracks, there's a point where it goes to what we call the horizon, and the two tracks are a point. We know physically they can't go together, they're always going to be parallel. But optically, we're seeing an illusion that they do converge. Every point that you're looking at is if you're in the center of a visual sphere. I'm not talking about the world. I'm talking about your experience as a human being observing every point directly up, to the sides, behind you, beneath you. Because we have an opaque Earth plane, we're just able to see in a hemisphere, in a dome. I'm not talking about the firmament, but I'm talking about the distance at which we could see it. The furthest point before everything vanishes beyond that point. Beyond that point, things disappear. They inverse, they flip, they reverse. Now, we've all studied in high school how our eyes interpret images. Light enters through our crystalline lens. It bends the light to a point in the center of your eyeball. Everything flips and inverts, reverses, and then casts an image on the retina on the back of your eyeball. The brain just flips everything back. It interprets it the way you see it. Okay, so we understand how the eyeball interprets things. But that convergence point at the center is as if you're a little tiny being and you're standing on the retina, which is the screen at the back of the inside of the eye, like the screen of the theater. And you're looking at the center point where all the light is converging. That's equivalent to the sun.
Every direction you're looking at.
When you scale everything up to our reality around us, it might just be that the sun is nothing at all. And that's what Eric Dollard said. The sun is nothing but the concentrated light. You can't even explain it because nobody can explain it. Back on the other side, as the light diverges out the other way, might possibly be what they describe as heaven, which means that heaven might really, truly not be far away, as said in the Bible.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty interesting.
And see, exactly. And see, he's confused about that because, listen, he says the Sun is invisible in free space. The reason it's invisible is because it's not in free space. It's under our dome, under our firmament. It's local.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's why you can't see it in space. Then they have to put the infrared on it to see that it's there. But they're picking up something else. It's not the sun. Can't be.
Right.
The
And
sun
it
is
always
aluminum.
Well, somebody was
it
interested in understanding what the moon is and what the shape is, and I was asked, is the moon a ball sphere itself, or could it very well be a plane? And here's how I'm going to explain it to see if this is how I actually kind of describe why we can't truly understand our plane of existence here. If it's a square, how come it looks like a circle? The reason why is because we have a limited range of eyesight.
Right.
If we have telescopic vision, the bubble may be a little bit bigger, but still beyond a threshold, everything beyond that is an optical illusion. When you look at a mountain or a tall building that's way, way down the distance, 20, 10 miles, 15 miles down, it looks flat. You can't see detail. The three-dimensionality that's close to you within a foot gets flattened out the further it goes to the point you just can't see, you can't tell. At a point where you can't see, literally, because everything's at that vanishing point, going out the other way, basically large objects distort into, if it's a flat plane, a square, it's going to distort into a round disc, which means that the corners are disappearing.
Mm.
The further away you get from the plane, as an astronaut would tell you, they're truthfully telling you that the Earth looks like a hemisphere or a sphere, but they're looking at just the surface that is an optical illusion warping into that, because that's what's happening. It's just
Yeah.
optical.
And that on top of it, the light automatically bends anyway. So our vision is automatically limited to those illusions. And then the light is also bending.
So if the moon is another plane, that the further away we are, the more spherical it looks, but the closer we get to it, as if we're in a Apollo mission, if indeed they did go, that the moon itself flattened out the same way the Earth did. And really what they were going to was another plane, two-dimensional flat thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever seen a harvest moon before?
A who?
A harvest moon. The ones that come in
harvest.
in late September, late October or something.
What are they
You ever
supposed to
seen?
look like?
I mean, I'm in Alabama. When I grew up, man, it was so huge. You know, like you can walk on it. You know what I'm saying? It be red, and it just, I mean, it's like take up half. You know what I'm saying? How big that thing look. Anybody in the South know for sure.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of a sinking moon?
I have seen.
A what kind?
A sinking moon.
A sinking? What they mean by that?
That it gives an illusion that the moon is setting in the atmosphere or in the ocean.
No, I haven't heard of that, brother.
Okay. Go ahead and respond, Lee.
Oh, well, I was just going to finish with the moon, which might describe what those craters are and how they're so concentric. They're like perfect circles. If you dropped a stone and it moved the sand in a perfect ring, when you throw a rock, for example, at an angle, when it hits the ground, it's going to throw dirt in a direction, right? So the crater that it leaves is very small, but it's not going to be round. It's going to be oval, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How come every single meteorite, any strike on that surface creates a perfect circle? The answer may be that because everything that's drawn to the moon is drawn parallel to the surface, like that, and then boom.
Yeah, perpendicular to the surface. Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Because what we've understood is that the moon's gravitational force is 1/6 of the Earth. If that's true, how can it draw like a Volkswagen-sized hunk of iron directly towards the center of the core if it is a ball sphere? It just isn't possible. That thing isn't going to take a turn and then just go directly down because there's no gravitational pull. As they describe gravity, they can do such a thing. There's no atmosphere to even slow it down. I'm talking about a huge meteor, right? The only way that I can see it explained is if it's a flat plane and everything's drawn to it perpendicularly. That the reason why we think it's a ball sphere is of that optical illusion. We're actually looking at a flat plane. It's physically flat, but it's like a Photoshop thing, just a flip of a switch, and they make it look like a sphere. In real life, it's an optical illusion.
So what do you think is on the other side of it?
Well, people say that it's like hollow, and that the other side there's a big entryway. I don't know. Another person explained it as if it's a hemispherical bowl, like a dish, you know, like a bowl that you bowl.
Mm-hmm.
And that somehow there's another one right on the other side of, or nested in with it, and that there's an optical illusion happening. I couldn't understand the way she described it, but she blocked me, so I can't talk to her. I'm telling you, I'm blocked by everybody.
I linked this one guy said that the craters are electrical discharges, like electrical volcanic eruptions. But why aren't there new ones all the time, though? That's my problem with that theory.
Well, if that's the case, then that would explain why they're concentric circles, because if a lightning strike just always hit the ground like that, well, then it would, you know, the big ones would be big and the little ones would be small. A lot of electrical. That the moon was a living organism of itself that was like Earth, plants and animals, and you know, and that it had been destroyed. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, so man. How many people on the panel believe that they went to the moon?
Not now one of us.
Because I look at it like this. I said now I took into the I considered this. I said, okay, if the Earth is flat and the moon is close, like a lot of people that go with the flat Earth say, to me, I think there's a possibility and a probability that they did probably go to the moon. Now, I mean, just saying if I'm looking at the Earth is flat, because that means the moon is closer than what we really think, and they probably did. You feel what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the first logical thing that should pop up in anybody's mind. So that's why I had to start looking at this moon, and it looks to me, knowing good and well, okay, I have finally accepted that they didn't go to the moon, which I watched tons of evidence that they did. Then I watched the tons of evidence that they didn't, and the tons of evidence that they didn't outweighed that they did. So therefore, why didn't they? It's hard, right? You can land on it, right? And it's local in our atmosphere. It should be very simple to do. So the problem I had was, why didn't they? And it appears to me that the moon is a light that can't be landed upon. It's just like the sun. It's not hard. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
Yeah.
That's real. Because like I said, I seen a tons of information on how they did and how they didn't. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, well, if it's close, like a lot of people say, I said just might. But then, like you said, I asked myself the same question. I said the moon looked like a bright ass light. I said, how did they go down on that? And I asked that same question myself, brother.
Yeah, they would burn up. You know, if it's a luminary, it has heat on it. You know.
Exactly. If it was hard, and no atmosphere, those doggone suits would have melted instantly, and that aluminum plastic gold footing that they have on that aluminum ship would have melted instantly.
Have you guys seen the movie with Matt Damon, The Martian?
The Martian. I gotta
Came
look.
out this year. Matt Damon.
Nope.
No, I haven't
He's a
seen that movie.
botanist. All right. I had to laugh. I could barely watch that movie. It was so false and fake. The way that they operate is with duct tape and like plastic wrap. And that's how they conduct their mission on Mars, and successfully. I couldn't believe it.
I don't know, man. I got a meteorite collection, man. So and some of these meteorites, some of them contain gold, different size diamonds and stuff like that. So I ain't trying to just be redundant and go back to that, but hey, man, that's still in my head.
You know what I think about that, bro? That the firmament is actually like all the, you know, 'cause the kingdom of the scriptures talk about the kingdom of heaven. You know, you gonna have all these gems and gold. I think the Most High is gonna the new heaven and the new earth. He said there'll be no more seas and things. He's gonna drain all the water and he's gonna crash the firmament. We're gonna use the firmament to build the kingdom. Or, you know what I mean? The firmament will be gone then.
Hey, I believe that's real, brother, because that's why I believe when they say that long who was that Joshua who had the long day in the Bible, I forget, but about the long day.
Yeah, Joshua.
Yeah, Joshua had the long day when the Most High made the sun stood still. I believe that's real because from my research, they showed why they had to go from a 360-day calendar to a 365-day calendar because it was the day the Most High made the earth stand still, and they showed how every calendar around the world had to adjust itself.
Wow.
That makes sense, Lee?
I'm sorry, I was writing a note to Robert. I don't know why he wasn't in on this.
What do you say?
My bad.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
What you think about that, Aratazar?
About the calendar.
Yeah, and Joshua's long day because
Yeah,
I saw this guy. He's into the scriptures deep. And I think he's from overseas somewhere, but he was bringing out that information. I shared a video with y'all brothers later on. You know what I mean? Just through Facebook or something.
I mean, it makes sense that because in my mind, I used to think when they stopped the sun, they stopped it, for a few hours. But it makes more sense that it stopped it for a couple of days. That does make more sense.
yeah, it does. And hasn't it happened a few times? Like when who did it?
Yeah, but
Was that? Go ahead.
Okay, well, there's
now
two instances of the sun going back. You know what I'm saying? I think it was one that went back 12 hours, and one went back like 40 minutes, or no, 24 hours, and one went back close to almost a day. So that was like 23 hours or something. And then there was the one with Hezekiah when it went back 40 minutes. And then there was an issue with the sun being distinguished. The sun and the moon and the stars being distinguished at Hamashiach's death. At the time of his death, the sun, moon, and stars were distinguished. So that makes much more sense on a localized flat, relatively flat plane. You know what I mean? Because if the light goes out under the firmament, then the stars can't light up in the firmament.
They can't reflect the light, is what you're saying.
There you go.
When did this occur, timeline-wise?
they were saying Oh, go ahead,
Uh,
brother.
I want to say 31 AD. Oh, you talking about timeline of the Bible?
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, it was at the at the moment of his death. A strange darkness was on the land about the sixth to the ninth hour, 3 hours, and it was recorded by other cultures. And the most notable is an emperor in China said this is a strange darkness, and all the sins of the world have been placed on one man.
All the
So
sand.
yeah, and then he said, so I forgive the people in his kingdom, or something to that effect.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add this real quick. Because from what I seen when the brother was breaking it down, he was explaining Joshua's long day, and that's when the calendar went from 300 to 365 days. And what else he brought out that had happened was when the Most High did that on Joshua's long day, it messed up all the gods' worship system across the world. Like in Egypt, that's what they had. Like different times of the day, the sun shine upon different gods. So on Joshua's long day, when that happened, what it did, it shattered their whole pantheon, or that
Yeah,
whole, you know what I'm saying? And it threw everything off. And but the brother was showing how the Most High shook all the kingdoms on that, like at one time, by doing that.
yep, yep, because they would do naturalistic things like that to say that their idols are God, their statues and stuff are God.
Right. So on Joshua long day, when the Most High did that, the sun wasn't shining on them different gods they worship at different times of the day. So man, he was showing how it shook up they whole political system when they was worshiping up in that crazy shit.
Mm, man, that makes sense. See, this is how we talk over here, man. Just throw out theories, We talk facts now. We talk a lot of facts, but at the same time, we do these things too, man. You know what I'm saying? All the time. Because it's important to think. It's important to examine reality the best you can, or even through other people who and motivate them to people with better resources who can explore our system and show it to the masses. You know what I'm saying? We're all more uh, connected to reveal to each other these realities easier. So I think these type of conversations are important. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, these trolls be getting mad that you just talking, you're just having conversations, public conversations. That's all it is. People talk about this kind of stuff all the time and throw out all kinds of wild theories and lies to each other. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Hey,
They don't
I
mind
don't know.
that.
No,
Go
not
ahead.
at all. I just wanted to say, it seemed like Jam threw us off a little bit. It seemed like we didn't really want to touch on the flat Earth. I'm not sure what you fellows was gonna get into, but I don't know. I would love to hear it.
If I could, I would redefine it. During the days that the Earth construct was being described, there was based on Genesis, it evolved into sort of like a very simple terminology, and they called it flat Earth. And because of that, many people are stuck on one aspect of the whole total Earth construct, and that's just the surface plane that we see, not even discussing what's underneath and the sides above and all that. That it really shouldn't even be called flat Earth. It should be something else.
Lip toward her. Yeah, because I used to one of our best studied proponents of level Earth. We don't like flat Earth, the term flat either, and he's a brother of ours, and he defends that point of view. and we like to call it level amongst ourselves, but you know, in the public, everybody calls it flat, so we call it flat in the public. And then, but he was on one debate a long time ago, and I asked him, I said, you know, it just doesn't sit well with me that it's simply flat right there. You know what I'm saying? It's level in one spot, and then that's all we see because they never show us anything other than the cut out whole circle with the black. You know what I'm saying? With the black blocking out everything else. So it makes sense. It makes more sense to me that they're just showing us what we live on, and there's something else, and it's much larger than what we can see, because they're not showing us the rest of it.
There are many questions that come up in that whole movement. One of them happens to be what the difference between the planets are and the Earth, and why isn't the Earth a ball sphere like the way the planets are described to be, you know, balls out there. And if my interpretation of the visual vanishing parallax point phenomena is true, then they're really all planes out there. My answer, which is different than everybody in the flat Earth, is that maybe the reason why they called them planets is because they're plane. That's right. The plane.
That's right.
Never called them ballettes, spherettes, roundettes, split. They called planets.
Yeah. That's right.
But then why did they call Earth
a
planet? Because it really is a planet, a plane at two.
They want to rough that.
Now I was gonna say somebody said that airplane was a play on words to make fun of that, you know, because the plane is flying on a plane, you know, and it's in the air.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, I often call this planet a plane. I say, yeah, on this flat plane that we're living on. So yeah, so that's what we're doing. We're living on a planet.
The other question that would be drawn to attention, and I would be asked, is, Lee, what do you think is beyond the Arctic Circle?
Beyond the plane.
If it follows the Gleason map, which is the record player with the ice circle around it, what's beyond it? Or if it's not like that, you know, what is it? Does the Earth plane go on to infinity, or is there a drop-off point? I can't answer that. But because I'm looking at the fact that the surface that we know of as Earth may be in a square form, no sign, it can't be determined, but it is depicted. It's even depicted in the Bible. It says the four corners of the earth. Right. Well, a circle doesn't have a corner.
Right.
So it must be telling us that what's beyond is really the waters. The waters above cap the waters below. So on the plane surface, on the plane.
What y'all got going on tonight, man? Lee Bracker. What's happening?
Hey, how's it going? Who's that?
That's the co-host.
I'm Azariah Yahawadah.
Oh, good to meet you.
So I heard you, you guys are talking about the Earth a little bit. That's just pretty much what I caught in on just now. I want to say, man, you know, the idiots that even believe in the Bible, that think the world is a globe, try to say that them four corners are north, east, south, and west.
Oh, you trying to come on me, huh? I hear you.
Nah, I didn't even have you for you, man. I was actually thinking of LeBron.
I'm just messing with you, brother.
Hey, LeBron be saying that.
Hey, because that's what I did say. I said that too. I think them four corners is the directions in a way.
I think you probably heard LeBron say that though.
Nah, I got that. Actually, I got that from this one guy I be listening to.
Yeah, LeBron probably just repeating Madonna, most likely.
Yeah.
I mean, we share, me and LeBron, we share a lot of information. You know what I mean? And I got a lot of information from that brother. But at the same time, I got a lot of information from different teachers and different other people at the same time. But you know, it's all good. Each one teach one, each one reach one.
That's right.
Hey, I just want to ask one question, man. I'm gonna be listening in. Uh, Lee Bracker, what you believe in?
In what, as far as religion,
Like,
or
no, we don't have no
doing this?
religions over here. What's your worldviews?
Well, I have goals, and my goal is to stop a probable near future 9/11. I think it's going to be Hoover Dam. So my primary focus is to stop that from happening, which is why I'm starting my radio show. As far as beliefs, it's really just I don't know how to say it. I have Bible thumpers that I meet regularly. You know, they'll bump into me and ask me what I'm doing, and I say I'm trying to prove the Bible correct, and then all of a sudden, well, I am a born again, and I'm this and that, and it's good that you believe. I ask them, well, what are you asking me, if I believe in Jesus Christ? And then it kind of gets sticky, because what it is that I have an understanding of who the man was. Not that I'm going to follow kind of like a religious paradigm about it.
Was he born from a virgin that didn't have sex?
Well, that's actually kind of becoming more clear to me now. As I talk to more people, it makes more sense, which is really interesting. A long time ago, I had heard that there was human genetics, which was one half of the chromosome composite, and the other one was the God gene, which had the other, half. So that they found and analyzed Christ's blood from the place where he was killed, or nailed to the trees and whatnot. So they got that, and they did a DNA analysis to find that it wasn't normal.
So you think he
normal.
was born from a woman that didn't have sex?
So yeah, it's quite possible if that checks out and is true, but
Well,
it's not.
Check this out, because all the Israelites have that so-called God gene, as you called it, right?
Uh-huh.
But we were all born from a man and a woman.
Do you know of anyone who examined the science that about the examination of Hamashiach's blood?
Do I know personally?
Do you know a person, not personally, but a person who has examined that examination?
No, I had just heard about it, but I'll tell you who I do know. And I was one of very few people that got to meet this man before he died. He was 94 at the time that I met him. His name was Philip Callahan, and he was the person that was asked to analyze the painting. What do they call it? Guadalupe.
Uh-huh.
That was claimed to have been painted by God and not by human hands. I forget the name of it. And so he did infrared analysis on that. He was the best in the world who could evaluate that, because he coined the word paramagnetics and wrote 18 volumes on the diamagnetic and paramagnetic qualities of the elements, water, and the pyramids and all that kind of stuff. So I learned an enormous amount from the man just by his writings, and I got to meet him for an afternoon. So as far as analyzing something that would be questioned, whether it was by human hands or by the Creator, or just manifested from the heavens, I don't know. It was that's as far as I got. I think that he was also asked to do the Shroud of Turin.
So he didn't know?
Pardon me?
He didn't know? That was his conclusion?
No, he knew. His conclusion was that it was not created by the hand of man.
Okay, so how did he describe the pigment?
And then the Shroud of Turin, I can't remember if he was on that team. They weren't even allowed to touch it, I don't think. But let's see. It's been many years since I talked with him. I would have to read whatever paper he wrote on it, whether he determined whether the Shroud of Turin was genuine and authentic. that of Jesus Christ being wrapped in it. I'll get back to you guys on that.
Okay.
I have to dig through it. So,
Hey, do you know
as far as believing,
do you know if that Guadalupe painting was tampered with?
was it?
Because it was tampered with, or does he know it was?
No, I'm asking if he knows if it was tampered with. That's the painting of like the Mother Mary, ain't it?
Right.
Right.
The
Very
Virgin
famous.
of Guadalupe.
Yeah.
Because I mean, it looks like a white woman to me.
Our Lady of Guadalupe. That's what they call it.
Yeah. It looks like
It looks like a Latin woman, and she.
Well, this one actually, she's got dark skin.
In our mind, Mary was a dark skinned woman, like African American looking.
If you go to other countries and look at their literature and their illustrations of Jesus Christ, you're going to see Jesus Christ looking Asian over in Japan. You're going to see Jesus Christ looking Indian over in India. Wherever people are, they're going to depict a person as the way their culture is, their ethnicity.
What the ancient Israelites look like?
Probably Nubian.
Nubian?
Dark, black. Not white.
It's
So
funny.
that kind of questioned me on what truly from Hebrew descent. I don't know.
Okay, so let's get back on Guadalupe. Don't stop changing the subject so fast,
It's not
man.
changing the subject, man. It's on the subject.
Okay, well, yeah, that was good that came out, but I'm saying Guadalupe joint. Okay, you said because he went on to say that different cultures changed the depiction of the patriarchs to fit their culture, but Guadalupe is claimed to be not made by human hands. So where's the original? Because the one that they're showing does not fit our particular paradigm.
And that's why I would contest it, and I would say it's a fraudulent thought that it was created by God, that it would have to be by human hands.
But there's a black man on it.
Where?
In like all four corners of the painting. But he's on one part he's surrounded by two white angels. There's white little baby looking angels that don't look like the angels described in the Bible.
I'm going to go out on a limb with the concept that humanity before the Great Flood, they didn't have a language that they used to etch out on stone, to draw it on paper or parchment or whatever. They didn't draw drawings. They had no need to do that. They didn't even have to wear clothes because the earth was designed for man to thrive and animals to thrive without any accessories. That all changed once humanity was changing the environment. They were actually, that's the original geoengineering right there. They were taking sand and turning it to stone. They made blocks. That there was no such thing as paintings like what we're looking at. So what comes after the flood is a contrivance again, and that this is just my opinion, I would disagree with Philip Callahan, who I admire. He says it was drawn and painted by God. I would contest that and say that's by human hands. Because you're right, she's not dark skinned. It's like, the hell needs, a divergence from the truth. The truth is that the ancient Hebrews were probably black.
Right. And now, yeah, absolutely. Right. Okay, now the main claimed photo is this one right here. Now this one looks Mexican. I mean Guadalupean or whatever. So okay, so now that would fit the cultural paradigm, right? But I've always thought that this was just a claim mark. Let me see here. Substitution for the original, because you know how they do. They iconoclast the art, the you know, what's the technical name for like these things that God makes, these images that God makes. You know what I'm talking about. But that's what I'm saying, that this is a substitution, a claimed substitution by the Catholic Church in order to win the hearts and minds of that area. But the original had to be dark. So I have seen some, but they don't. I don't know if they're authentic or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they are authentic.
I have an artist background. I went to school for it. I became a product design stylist, and it's because I could have been a painter. I could have been whatever, great tattoo artist. Now that's popular, but that's sort of like my gift. So I was born to be an artist. So I was trained in classical art as a painter. I could tell you right now that the original painting of this Guadalupe is made by an amateur, somebody who does not have the understanding of perspective, modeling of light, none of that. It's amateur.
The claimed original, the one I just showed.
Yeah, well, the picture that I'm looking at, which I think is the original, it's flat. It's not three-dimensional. The shadows are all wrong. If God wanted to make this, if God did it, God would have done a better job. Let's put it that way. So
I know that's right.
You follow what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
I'm just calling it the way I see it. So when I'm asked, I guess back to the original question, do I believe in Jesus Christ? I think that my whole life, these are just my feelings, my whole life I felt comfortable thinking about Jesus Christ. I even like the song, you know, Jesus is just all right with me, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I grew up in a Jewish family, so I could never really talk about that. It's like, you know, I feel better thinking this than I do going to temple and, you know, sitting there and reading out of this prayer book that's telling me about Zionism. It's like, I didn't even know it was Zionism, but that just made no sense. That as I got older and I got more familiar with what's right and wrong, and noticing the differences in people who believe in Christ, follow Christ, or, you know, they feel like Christ is in charge of their lives and they've submitted themselves to that, that I always felt comfortable around people like that. Not the fanatics. I'm talking about people that are just, you know, doing a life and not trying to, you know, serve it to everybody that they see. And now that I've been doing this study for about 5 years, it's becoming more clear to me of who Christ really was. And it just gets closer and closer to how it's described in the Bible. Now, when I got into flat earth and started studying all this and developed my own theories about what light may be, that light does not travel in parallel lines, that light actually vortexes and turns on itself, coalesce into kind of like a concentration point and then expands out the other way, like a torus field that we were talking about earlier, Devon. That kind of form, that light has this body to it. It's three-dimensional, and the form that we see is that form. You know those wiener balloons that they turn and they make animals out of them at the circus, you know, party clown?
Yeah.
Making your animal for your kids. That's kind of like how light is. That's how light is. And it can expand and contract. It just takes on all this, and everything that's described in it are the fractals. Hard to explain. I would have to show images and pictures, but I haven't gotten there yet. The outer what's outside of the skin of that balloon is the negative aspect of light. Light is there, but it's the reverse of light. That's what these evil entities thrive and exist in. That's what's underneath our playing field here.
Right. The light we can't see, negative light.
And the further down you go, the closer you get to the absolute absence of light, which is part of light. It's a necessary part, but it's the negative aspect. So we talk about good and evil. Well, that's where evil is, I guess. The higher up you go.
Right. And so everything that they do, they think is the proper way, because that's just their their existence is negative. So everything negative that they do, they think I'm doing I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Hey, you know what a good trick is? Try it sometime, any one of you. If you're overwhelmed, you're upset, you're pissed off, you got a negative attitude, you wake up on the wrong side of the bed, whatever it is, don't look down. Look straight up. When you look up in the direction of up, the body remembers that that's, it's drawing from the heavens, that all of it, you can't think of a bad thought. I didn't believe it until I tried it. I was told that by a naturopathic doctor, and then I tried it, and yeah, he was right. It may take a little bit, but when you look down, you can't help but think of something negative. It'll just come to you, no problem. But to erase it, you look up.
Hey, Lee.
Yeah.
I was going to say real quick, that's interesting, because that's always advice I give to people that like freestyle rap and stuff like that, because it also activates both sides of your brain, where you have your creative side, you know what I mean, where you're coming up with basically like the creative part of your rhymes, and then you have your logical side, which is putting the lines and syllables together.
I agree.
Yeah, and when people forget something, they look up.
I got to turn on a light. Hold on, you guys.
They look up, and then sometimes they remember, sometimes they don't. You know what I mean? So yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say something interesting that I learned a while back. I didn't really think about it until y'all started talking about light. Is something okay when you shine light through certain gems and stuff, it gives off a certain light. But when you like when you shine pure light through diamonds, the diamond will turn black. It don't have that refraction, or it don't give off a color. But when you shine it through like the precious stones in the scriptures, it gives off this brilliance of color that the gems that we think about, like garnet and diamonds and phosphor, you know what I mean? It don't have that same brilliance. It just turns completely black.
What does?
Like a diamond? Yeah, you shine pure light through diamond, and the diamond turns black.
What?
Yes. I learned this a while back when I first got into the truth, and I really didn't. It really didn't come back to me until just now. You can look it up. The 12 stones in the scriptures. I think it's in Revelations. They have the brilliance when you shine pure light through it. It have that brilliant color, but diamonds and garnet, the stone turns black.
Man, that's crazy.
And you know, people
diamonds were not popularized. Diamonds were not considered a precious gem or whatever until De Beers, the German guy, came into the thing and made it something that was a valuable or perceived value.
Made it seem rare.
Which I thought was interesting. So they made a market out of it. I wanted to finish though on something in FBI profiling, and it's common knowledge to tell whether somebody's telling the truth or not, is you watch their eyes, which is why I wanted to get that guy on video, Barack. I wanted to see who he was, and there are other things I can tell. I could just tell by his writing that he was a fruitcake. I doubt if he's got a wife, but if he does, you know, he's doing a disservice to his family by being the way he is. Because it's not about saving humanity. He's just trying to get them for himself.
Yeah.
When a person looks to the left and down, they're fabricating a story.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't fail. If you're talking to somebody and you ask them a question and they look to the down and to the left, they're fucking with you.
Mm-hmm.
Plain and simple. Happens every... When I learned this, I went through all my videos that I've ever recorded with people, and sure enough, well, if I had known that, I would have been able to solve my cases a lot earlier.
Mm-hmm.
When they look to the left but straight, they're kind of thinking about it. When they look to the left and straight up, it's already programmed in their mind. It's a lie, but it's a program lie. They don't have to think about it. They just insert it into the conversation.
Right, right. A memorized lie.
Exactly, like a canned version of whatever they're going to reply. Now, looking back down to the left, they're going to pause. They're going to keep looking back, and they're going to keep looking and everything until they fabricate their story and deliver it to you. Intuitively, you know they're lying. But now that you know this, now that you see it, it'll help you to substantiate what you intuitively feel about the person you're talking with. Okay, now when we're doing the right side, if a person is looking to the right and down, it's opposite. What they're doing is drawing from their memory banks to make certain they're going to tell you as much of the truth as they possibly can. They're digging into their memory. If they can't draw that to the forefront of their recollection, at least they're trying. Same thing with the right and straight. And then if they're looking to the right and up, they automatically know. They remember what it is. It's like,
I memorize.
Are you looking at my eyes? Yeah. So usually when I'm talking, I'm looking to the right. If I'm dealing with an idiot moron, you know, I'm looking more to the right. If I don't want to look bad, you'll catch me because I'm looking to the left.
Okay, so
most people don't know that, so I get away with it.
You recognize this photo, right?
Okay. I do. This kid in the middle, he was the one that spoke in Aramaic. That was a lost language, but he actually spoke it. Or no?
Yeah. No. This is just the local population at Fatima, the dancing son of Fatima.
Okay.
And I want you to weigh in on it. This is one of the foundations of my psyche. And then I could never understand how in the heck is this possible. Then when the flat Earth reality came around, because the sun is local, is the answer. See what I'm saying? So this is one of the things that I appreciate. I really appreciate this scenario here, and I want you to weigh in on it. It doesn't matter if you destroy my paradigm or not. I could care less.
Well, you say they're looking at the sun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you have to look at the shadows, and apparently the shadows they're looking at are behind the people, so that they are looking at the sun. Unless somebody argued this picture and said that they're looking at a UFO or something else.
Now, if you stare at the sun long enough, doesn't it look like it's moving around when you stare at the sun like that? But then they said that it rained, and then the sun came very close to them, and it dried the land. So I'm saying that perhaps it wasn't just staring at the sun too long and imagining that the sun is moving around, but in fact the sun did come close, or did move around and come close to them, which you know is not it's not contradictory to the Bible, so it's believable from a Bible paradigm.
Was it an all-day event, or did it occur over several days, or was it like a moment in time?
This one was all day because it happened over like 6 months or so, where the two little young girls would go and think they were speaking to Mary, and then the doctors started coming in, and then the whole community found out about it. So the whole community found out about it. Then they brought the doctors in, to poke and prod them while they were in the trance and walking backwards and things of that nature and looking up in the sky. And then so they found out that they weren't faking it, because they would have felt the pain and things of that nature. So then the final day was an all-day dancing show of the sun.
Well, I'm going to pose a question here, and I'm wondering if this occurred at the same time of the witch hunts in Salem. If that's true, yeah, if that's true, and at the same time that I guess there were about 6 girls that had an experience, and they were considered conducting witchcraft or possessed, they were burned at the stake kind of thing. I don't know that whole story, but whatever happened, it was the Salem witch hunts. Did it occur at the same time this photograph was taken, this event?
1917.
This one or the Salem ones?
Salem witch hunts. Let me look that up.
I gotta go answer it, or I'll be back.
The witch trials, right? Yeah, okay. And that was a 16 something. 1692. Okay, what y'all up to?
Oh man, I just seen something to prove to me the Earth was round 110%, brother.
What did?
I'm on Netflix. I was watching this show called
Talk to man.
The Pyramid Code. I was watching this show called The Pyramid Code, and they zoomed. You know what I'm saying? They was on the. Oh man, the Earth is a globe, brother. Oh
Zoomed in
man.
on what? They zoomed in on your forehead
No, I'm watching. I'm watching this thing. I just ran across it. I'm clicking about to see what they're talking about. It's called a Pyramid Code. I seen it before. It came out in 2009, but I just rewatching to see what kind of lies they was gonna tell. A lot of shit. A lot of times I watch stuff to just see how many times they lie. I ain't lying. I be sitting there arguing with the TV, brother. Like, look at these people. Look at it. Look at
I be
it.
doing that too, man. I be like, man, what lie they gonna come up with this time? I did that with that Noah joint. Yeah, Noah the movie, but no, I'm trying to think of this other thing, the History Channel joint, where they were talking about the Son of God is the second one, and the first one, I forget the first name of the first one, but it was on the History Channel, and it was about the Bible. Man, they lied. I lost
Hey,
count.
that's real, brother. I do that with everything I watch. You know what I'm saying? I be sitting here like look at these people, man. And it keep me sharp. It keep me sharp at the same time, and it made me think a lot. You know what I'm saying? So it should be all good.
Yeah, for sure. Yo, Lion Bear, man, what's going on with you, man? Man, been muted the entire time, so you must be thinking.
No, I'm just sitting here listening, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't really got no comment on it either way. I'm just listening, man. Just trying to learn stuff and see what kind of perspectives y'all got on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely, absolutely. So that's why we try to put disclaimers on it and say, we just talking.
Yeah,
Pure theories.
for sure.
Check perspectives right quick. You can kind of what you call it, analyze them. You know what I'm saying? And then take what fits. Take the truth. Take the part that's reality.
Right. Yeah, I'm just sitting here listening, man.
No problem. No problem.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Salem witch trials was 1692. The Fatima event was October 13th. What did it say? 1917. October 13th, 1917. I wonder what's the significance of that date. I gotta check that out. 1951. Okay, it was published in 1951. The event happened October 13th, 1917. Contrast enhanced enlargement of something looking right there. Original photo pointing at something right there. That's interesting. Never seen these, you don't? Serial killing images of Fatima. Another original photo. That's a Photoshop. Some madness. And what's this? Probably some recreation. It's just like a TV show or something, or a movie or something. The 13th Day in HD, second movie. Oh, okay, that's the name of the movie. The 13th Day. I might need to check that movie out just to see what kind of information they got on there. But October 13th, I need to check that. As far as the Hebrew calendar.
Man, you know what, man? Let me say something real quick. The more and more I watch stuff on Egypt, man, the more and more I see how the Most High just tore that motherfucker apart. Oh, man.
They should have been so.
The Most High jacked Egypt up, boy, I tell you.
Man, they should have been so perverted and oppressed.
Brother. That's right. That's right. Hey, they got it. The Most High asked him like 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, just let my people go. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But hey, he got what he called for. You know what I'm
saying? He got what he wanted. So you got so that's close to the new moon, the new month. Which month is that, though? Let's see. Go ahead.
Should be the 10th month, right?
Is it 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7? The 7th month. Hold on. 1.
Hey, the bar.
2.
Hey, man, I was
the 8th month. My bad, the 8th month.
8th month, yeah.
I was trying to clean something up. What are you looking for?
I was looking at this. You can see my screen.
The month after Tishri.
Nah, you can see my screen.
Yeah, Tishri. That's the 7th month. That's what you're looking for. The 8th month,
yeah,
right?
The month after Tishri. Yeah.
Yeah. Did you say that they was going to talk to the Mother Mary?
Yeah. That's the claim.
And you said
this happened over like a 6-month period. They would go every so often. You know what I'm saying? I don't think it was every day. I think it was like every 7 days or something.
You said that fit the Bible paradigm, right?
Yeah, because of how the sun stopped sometimes, and then that one time where in Joshua's time the sun was told to move around different locations.
I just want to be clear because I heard it talk about the kids talking to the Mother Mary and stuff. And Leviticus 20:6 states, "And the soul that turneth after such as have familiar spirits, and after wizards to go a whoring after them, I will set even my face against that soul, and will cut off them from among my people." Right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's Leviticus 20:27 says, "A man also, or a woman that hath a familiar spirit, that is a wizard, shall surely be put to death. They shall stone them with stones, their blood shall be upon them." And you know, the Mary was a human being on this earth, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, human beings don't come back and roam the earth. That's what the Most High calls familiar spirits. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Them are demons playing tricks on people.
That's a
Yeah,
possibility.
Tishri the 7th month.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to. What's the 8th month? I'm trying to figure out the name of
Not Sivan, is it?
Devon.
I think. Hold on, I'm confused.
Yo, Amaziah,
Going
you
back
were
to the
hard on that one,
Salem.
brother. You had me laughing over here, man.
Kislev, I know, is the 9th month.
Devon is the 9th month.
Now Kislev it's Shavan, yeah, is the 8th month. Or Cheshvan, Mar Cheshvan. Sivan is the 3rd month. They said
I found.
Oh, okay. What? Spell it.
CH like a chat.
Okay, I see it. 8th month. Huh. Okay, now what does the word mean in Hebrew?
Was it meat in Hebrew?
In Hebrew.
And I have to look it up. Let me see.
Chet Shin. I can't read it.
Let's see. From Akkadian. Let's see. It's from an Akkadian word Warashamanu or Wawasamnu. Literally 8th month.
You got the letters pulled up.
I pulled it up on Wikipedia.
Okay, so what does it mean in Hebrew? In the Hebrew.
So I'm trying to find. It says it comes from the Akkadian, which literally means 8th month. Let me see.
Okay, so it's really
Oh,
the real 8th month is Bull. Let me see what this is. What this means right here. Is that wrong?
nah. That says the Hebrew Bible before the Babylonian exile refers to the month. That's bull. Yeah. And it's just like Nisan is actually Abib in the Bible.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. So all right, so was it? Is it about? Let me see.
The
Bet
second month in the Bible, I mean, it's a Niv. I mean, Ziv. That's the second month, right?
was this Bet Wav limit?
Yeah, that's right. Beit, U, and then Lamed. Or the Wa. Beit, Wa, Lamed.
Okay, what's that mean?
You talking about like the Hebrew breakdown?
Yeah.
Uh, of course, your Beit is your house. Your U is your tent peg, or like to like nail something down. And then your Lamed is like the shepherd staff or the leader. The sense of rain. I'd have to think a little deeper about it or find some scriptures that correlate with it.
Okay.
You know what
It
I mean?
also says increase in produce.
Yeah, I'd
All
have
right.
to see some
All right.
scriptures on it.
We'll get into that later. Hold on. From the root, rain showers, and it rained that day. Hence the month of showers. Into the choose months from the new moon of November to that of December. Why is it saying November to December? Why doesn't
Mine
it say
says
October to November?
mine says October. Yeah, October to November.
What
It
did
says the sowing of wheat and barley.
Jusinius says it's from November to December. That's wild. Okay,
Mm.
so I need to look at Tishri. I mean 7 months.
Go to Leviticus 23.
Okay.
That's probably what it's going to take you to.
23, 24. Okay, 7 months. Okay.
That's the Day of Atonement right there.
It's not giving me the
16,
name.
29. Huh?
It's not giving me the name of the month.
Go to just look at it in Hebrew.
And just look at the number 7.
Yeah. Each of those words have their own meanings. Like for the numbers, like how you have ahad, which is one, but it means united.
Okay. There it is. At the name. At the name.
I got a list of them on my.
Oh, so they done threw our months off too.
Yeah, they completely fucked them.
Yeah, I bring that up all the time. How
Shabbat.
December is supposed to be the 10th month.
Shabbat is 7.
Oh yeah. But yeah, this is Etanim, or however you say it. Etanim. Okay. Enduring. Okay. See, olive from the root, perennial, constant, especially use the water, a perennial stream, constantly flowing, and without. Okay.
Let me say that again. Hold on. Shit.
This part.
A time is what they're using for it.
Huh?
Let me see the whole word by complete. T.
You guys ever check out the meaning of NASA in Hebrew?
Ethnim.
It means this deceive or something like that. To deceive.
Right.
What are you looking at? You done with that?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna look up the actual.
See, look at this. This says 7th month of Hebrew year from the new moon of October to the new moon of November. Look at that. We got our months off.
Yeah, that's because of Joshua's long day.
This month was the month of the long day.
No, I'm saying everything's off. The years, the month, a lot of that stuff is off because of Joshua's long day, according to a lot of the information I've seen.
Oh, okay. I got you on that. Okay. But this is after Joshua's long day, and they calling October to November the 7th month. So this is wild, man. Oh man, that's gonna change everything. This just changed my whole calendar. I didn't even know that. Okay, so let me look at it close here. Enduring, okay. It's not telling me much. That's why I need the Hebrew on it. I need to buy that book ASAP. I can look at it close. Look at these things close. Okay. Where we at now? What we talking about? Enduring. Okay.
Hey, what's crazy is the actual meaning of the number 7, right? Is to be satisfied or to be filled or to be fulfilled, which is like we have our Sabbath is always the 7th day.
Hebrew. Yeah. Absolutely. 7th month is what do they say it is? Tissue, right? Go ahead.
Oh no, I was
Yeah, Tishri is the 7th one.
Okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna bring out a scripture where I was talking about how about the precious stones.
Okay.
This is Revelations 20, 21, and 19. I started 18. It says, and the building of the wall of it was of jasper, and the city was pure gold, like unto clear glass. And the foundations of the wall of the city were garnished with all manners of precious stones. The first foundation was jasper, the second sapphire, the third chalcedony, the fourth emerald, the fifth sardonyx, the sixth sardius, the seventh chrysolite, the eighth beryl, the ninth topaz, the 10th um, chrysophorus, the 11th jacinth, the 12th amethyst, and the 12 gates were 12 pearls, and several gates was one pearl, and the streets of the city was pure gold, as it were transparent glass. Mm. So uh, so that kind of makes sense to me that the firmament could be gold.
Yeah. Yeah. It's got gold in it. It's got all those things you just named in that joker. And and the stretched out part is the sapphire. And I
mm.
used to think it was clear and you could see through it. And I still think that's possible.
Now listen to this. It says, this verse 23. It says, and the city had no need of the sun, neither of the moon to shine on it, for the glory of God did lighten it, and the Lamb is the light thereof. Hmm.
See what I'm saying? See, when you sit there and just allow yourself to build and just check out stuff, you know what I'm saying? New stuff, you just listening and talking, calm, you know what I mean? You got new stuff to ponder about that could be a possibility. Then you gotta
That's
examine
right.
that a little bit further and you're good to go. You constantly debating these people coming in here. It's distracting to your brain. You know what I'm saying?
Con. Hey, I don't know if Lee gonna hop back on. If he don't, appreciate him for coming through, give his knowledge and wisdom.
Absolutely. Yeah, we had a conversation similar to that earlier today. But I was mainly listening to his theory about what he just said, which is they're going to be using the Hoover Dam as a doomsday device. So he says that the devices of men that were destroyed by the flood were were stargates, and they have since remembered how to create these things, and it uses the diamagnetic properties of water and the elements in order to make that happen. Like you can see on SG-1, how that Stargate, kind of busts open with water.
Con.
Let me show
Hey,
you.
have y'all ever heard when he was speaking on that about the Hoover Dam? I remember this guy. I used to watch his videos about 2-3 years ago. He's still on YouTube. His name was
Jonathan Click.
Groke Grokesex or something like Grotex. You ever heard of him?
Uh-uh.
No.
Hey, and what this guy does, right? He basically show how like the landscape of the Earth map out different things uh going by the Bible or something, man. The dude, it kind of weird, but at the same time, you know, it's information is interesting. I used to check him out. I'm about to pull up his whatchamacallit, so you can go to the video because he talk about that same thing old boy was talking about the Hoover Dam, and he be talking about stargates and stuff like that. I mean, I've been watching him for like 2 or 3 years. I think he's a white boy, but his information is pretty heavy, man. I think it's worth looking at. You know what I mean? Just for you know, like they say, you
Right. Yeah.
spit out
Just
the
get your
bones and
mind
eat the
clear. You
meat.
know what I'm saying? That's how you do. That's how you do this stuff. Look
All
at
right.
it.
Well,
Just
I'm
go
about to
ahead.
pull, I'm about to look. I'm about to find it, and I'll be right back.
Okay. So you see how this Stargate got the water on one side of it? See that, Rotterdam?
Yeah, I see it, King.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, he says that the Hoover Dam is being utilized this way, right? And it got to be by water in order to use the diamagnetic properties of the water, and then electrify the geometry of the circle in order to go instantly from one place to another. You know what I'm saying, in far distances. So you know what I'm saying, that's all part of the presentation that he has. And I'm going to show you one of the things that he talks about using. Okay, so you got the Hoover Dam, right? Where's that part at? Oh,
Con,
this the basic one, but it doesn't have all the pictures on it. Okay, so yeah, but it's got like a Stargate looking thing over there somewhere in one of those cities, and it's right on the shore. So they're using their knowledge of how water reacts whenever it's provoked to react a certain way by electricity and stuff.
con. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Cause
shit.
I be looking at this dude named Jonathan Kleck,
Yeah,
and you know he brung out how when you fold the dollar bill in a certain way, it reveals the twin towers coming down.
exactly. Now
Yeah,
listen
and he
though,
all
now people, people have known that before him, right? I'm talking about years ago.
nah, I didn't know that.
Yep, and but he took it to a new level. He
Yeah,
took
he
it to a
did.
new level.
He showed the Hoover Dam. He showed how they break the Hoover Dam. I think it's some on the new money they making, the new 20 or something. And
Hmm.
he when you fold it a certain way, it shows the Hoover Dam breaking open. You know,
Yeah, and see
like the
what he did
womb.
though? He quit. He stopped researching it all the way. He didn't flush it out all the way. And that's what our boy here did. He picked up where Jonathan Kleck left off and fully got the full plan that these smart people are doing for evil means, destructive,
Con,
oppressive, destructive means. You know what I'm saying? And he wants to stop it from happening by telling snitching on the evil people to Congress and whomever else has the power to stop these people from doing that. But they want to cancel out. They want to use the uh, the negative light waves. You know what I'm saying? Light emits a negative light that is invisible to us, that can be picked up by infrared and other means. It can be. You know what I'm saying? You can see it look with other type of lenses. But the negative light is where the demonic is spiritual demons. I mean, what am I trying to say? Where the evil lives in the negative light, and then the holy live in the positive light. Okay,
con,
so he's saying that they're going to be using the negative light, aim it at the sun, which is positive light, and cancel them out because it got negative and positive together, and cancel out the sun. and he thinks that is going to fulfill the 3 days of darkness in the Bible. I'm trying to figure out what he was talking about that because I hadn't never heard that before.
Yeah,
Three,
the scriptures talk about that.
yeah,
The sun shall not shine, the moon shall not bring forth the light. Yeah.
3 days though.
Yeah, I think yeah, it does say 3 days.
Stretched out his hand over toward heaven, and there was a thick darkness in all the land of Egypt 3 days. So so there must be a Revelation verse or something that says that too. Then
Um, yeah, look up what is it? It said the sun shall be confounded or something.
okay. And the fifth angel poured out his vial upon the seat of the beast, and his kingdom was full of darkness. Okay, that's not it. At the waves of the sea, foaming and shame, wandering stars. Huh? Foaming, waging waves of the sea, foaming out their own shame, wandering stars, to whom is reserved the blackness of darkness forever. Okay, that's not it. But in any case, I didn't find that familiar. I was like, what are you talking about? 3 days of darkness. I don't remember that in there. But uh, if he comes back in here, maybe he'll show us what he means by that.
Con.
Hey, hey,
Have you?
hey, Devar, you see that link I put in the background?
Let me check. I don't have my mail open because it rings a lot. Tends to ring.
I feel you.
Boop, 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 boop.
But yeah, that's the guy's channel right there. He be going in on a lot of stuff, man. I mean, some of the stuff I be thinking is far out there, but at the same time, I still listen to it because you know what I'm saying. Hey, it's information.
Mm-hmm. Let's see here what we got here. Mm-hmm. Okay, it's pulling up now. People don't want to come around when you talk peaceful to each other. See what we got here. Okay, something. Okay. You put it in the back chat or what?
Yeah, you put it in the back chat, King.
You see it? Cause I don't see
Yeah,
it.
it says the Denver airport murals.
Okay, somebody. Dang, you can't do it. Let me see here. Hold on. Post it again, Madonna.
Yeah, no,
I guess when I'm not in it, I can't. It don't remember. You know what I'm saying? What you posted. Oh shoot.
you looked at any of that Jonathan Click lately?
Yeah. The last one I saw was the commercials, the car commercials, the Jaguar commercials. I
Oh
think that was.
yeah, yeah,
I think that was the last one I saw.
yeah.
When
He
he
brought
talking
that
about
light out.
Esau coming into power.
Yep.
I said, you don't realize how much sense you making, sir. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
You got
And make it.
the black car came into power, then the red car came into
And
power, and then they launched out onto the world over the sea and destroyed whatever they're gonna destroy.
yep. And you know what was so funny about it? The dude who played Loki in the Thor movie was the driver. You know, And
Yep.
Loki is the trickster, you know.
And your boy, the X-Man guy. What's his name? The blue guy, the smart guy, looked like an ape.
Dr. Manhattan.
No, he's blue. He's
Beast,
blue and furry. He's an ape.
Beast.
Beast.
Oh, the Beast.
The Beast played the mad scientist partner. You know what I'm saying, or secretary or whatever. You know what I'm saying.
I didn't know that.
Second in command. Secretary General or something like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. The latest videos he been doing he went to the Vatican. He go to pictures of the Vatican. He break down how the seat of that they sit on, like the throne, is a dead sheep with his tongue sticking out. He do the same thing with the Virgin Mary. You turn it upside down and it's a dead sheep. You know, he
Yep.
go to the Egyptian hieroglyphs and show how it's another being inside of that picture. You know what I mean?
In the head of Akhenaten.
Yep.
So that's what he traveled to the Vatican recently.
No, I think he just pulled up the pictures.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he bring out how it's a stargate, like a womb. He say the womb is the portal to hell, basically. You know what I mean? Like the scripture even talk about how, you know, the womb is like a stargate, and they say it's second angels inside of that portal. If you get a chance, check it out, man. Nigga, he go real deep.
Okay, I sure will. I like to keep up with him often, but like your boy said, he told me today. He said he stopped researching it. I guess the big boys was getting on them too much. You know what I'm saying? Then people with lots of views, then big boys start coming in and scaring people.
Con.
I'm gonna go ahead and get off here because I guess this topic is not super fantastical, but it was interesting to me. I had a good time. You know what I'm saying? I see you was weighing in too, going in on him. Don was going in on.
Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting king. I know what I mean, I wanted to get on them camps, you know, but you know, maybe another time.
Yeah. We got time. We always got time. I didn't have a camp in mind anyway. You know what I'm saying? When I did the schedule for the shows, I didn't know what to put. I don't even like banging on camps too tough anyway. You know what I mean? Because people need to learn this Bible and they need to get motivated to do so. And the camps do motivate people and they cause a level of discipline. But they just be lying. They be lying. So you need to let these people go. They need to graduate from the camp after a year or two. You know what I'm saying? Because all it is just a high college level course on the Bible, and then they need to get a certificate, and then be let out into the world to do what they want to do.
That's right.
These people they're keeping them trapped in those schools forever, and you never graduate. And then if you associate with any other school, you blasphemous and stuff.
Yep,
It's just wild. That's nothing but pure bondage.
See, that's what I want to ask them, man. Like, cause you know, it's just bad, man. Like when you really think about it, like, bro, because you know they a different camp. Like, you know what I mean? You can't help them out. You know what I mean?
Yep.
They still Israelites, bro. What the fuck?
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? We Israelites. So cause we ain't in no camp. You can't have no dealings with us.
Nah, we miss a food.
Say again?
I said because we miss a food.
Yep.
You know, they're just like you know, the brother Hebrew warrior shout out to him. You know, he say if you not with like Tazadakia, you pretty, you know, you can, he consider you possibly like you got a good chance of being the 2/3. And I'm like, wow, you
And
know. And
Tazadakia say he the Holy Spirit. Come on, man.
hey, that's what I said. I wanted to ask you about that, bro. Who is the Holy? Who is the Comforter?
You talking to me?
Khan.
The Comforter is the Holy Spirit, the Ruach Kodesh. It ain't Tazadakia. It ain't comfy. That's for
Right.
sure.
Yeah, and that, you know, I was trying to tell him that the scriptures is the comforter, because it says that it shall abide with you forever.
Well,
And the
see,
scriptures
it's
say,
actually like the scriptures are alive, right?
Khan.
The word of the Most High. But the Comforter is actually your conscience. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's just like how to
your correctly calibrated conscience.
right, exactly. You know what I mean? It's your consciousness uh speaking to you. You know what I'm saying? And giving you dreams. You know what I mean? Opening up understanding. But what I want to know is this. Let me find the scripture right quick to show y'all.
Hey, while you getting there, I wanted to ask you who was the first comforter?
Well, we know the Ruach Kodesh is all through the Old Testament as well, because he was on Samuel. I mean, yeah, I'll say Samuel, but Samson. He hopped on Samson every time Samson did something. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, he came through King David.
Hold it down for a minute.
So
Say again?
you saying,
Hold it down for a minute.
Okay, con. But yeah,
so
he came on all the old prophets.
okay, so you saying that is anybody who the spirit is on, the spirit of truth, the Holy Ghost?
Right. And like actually like the literal physical sense as well. I'm trying to let me see. Let me find the scripture first and then
Khan.
okay, right here in John 14:12, it says, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father. Right? And then if you skip down to verse 15, it says, If you love me, keep my commandments, and I will pray the Father, or the Ab, and he shall give you another comforter, that he may abide with you forever, even the Spirit of truth, whom the world cannot receive, because it seeth him not, neither knoweth him, but ye know him, for he dwelleth with you and shall be in you. Right? And he says, I will not leave you comfortless, I will come to you. Right? But the key scripture in here is John 14:12. Okay, verily, verily, I say unto you, he that believeth on me, the works that I do, shall he do also, and greater works than these shall he do, because I go unto my Father, to my Ab. So, you know, that's the main thing right here. I'm not seeing any greater works from any single individual or any other camp. So there's obviously something that we're not doing right. And I think we can, you know what I mean?
That's right.
I think we can all attest to that. We're not experiencing the full revelation here. Now, we go over to Acts, right? Let's go to the book of Acts. Let's see here. Let's see. Trying to find a good one
Okay.
to go to. Let me pull it up on the computer right quick too, so y'all can see what I'm looking at.
Okay. So would you consider with Tazadaki doing blasphemy?
Oh, all the way. All the way.
Yeah, and that's what I asked Warrior Hebrew, man. I was like, if he's lying to his congregation, would you consider that blasphemy? He said most definitely, you know what I mean? And I don't see him tending to the people like he should, you know what I mean? And he go out to clubs and party, and you know this man he probably commit adultery, you know, he bleeding the people, you know what I mean? He hoarding wives, you know what I mean, and things of that nature.
Most definitely.
You know,
And
and
then
that's I tell
they
you,
spent like over $1 million something, probably like at least $2 million on the Passover. Like that could have been
woo,
went to better use. Have you seen our Passover? ICGJC?
to my
Huh?
to my when they nah, I don't think I seen it. I don't look at him too much.
Yeah, Boss Sam showed it to us one time.
Mm.
Alright, check this out, right? It says Acts 8 and 15. Let's see. Actually, start at 14. It says, now when the apostles which were at Jerusalem heard that Samaria had received the word of Yahuwah, they sent unto them Peter and John, who when they were come down prayed for them, that they might receive the Ruach Kodesh. For as yet he was fallen upon none of them, only they were baptized in the name of Yahushua, then laid their hands on them and received the Ruach Kodesh. Okay, and then you see the man Simon, who was basically like a sorcerer, right? And then he sees them working miracles and stuff like that, so he wants it too. But
Yep.
my whole thing is like when you read the book of Acts, like it's almost like they instantly receive it and start working miracles. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of that has to play out with, of course, nowadays how we got a lot of stuff to keep us disconnected with spirituality. You see what I'm saying? So you got a bunch of people saying that they got the Holy Spirit, but the things in John 14:12 aren't being performed. You know, growing up, I used to watch the box set of the Book of Acts. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Peter was always my favorite in that storyline because he could heal somebody with his shadow. You know what I mean? And you know, I just don't uh, quite understand yet, but I think I'm starting to kind of get an understanding of why. You know what I mean? Of why
Yep.
this stuff is not happening the way it should. Because man, I ain't seen not one person get brought back from the dead yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes along with what I was showing y'all the other night. Let me get let's get John chapter 4 right quick. Let's see. John chapter 4 verse 14. Let's start at 13. Yahushua answered and said unto her, whosoever drinketh of this water shall thirst again. So John 4 and 14. But whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst. But the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life. Right? And then when you go to John chapter 7, let's see here. John chapter 7 and let me get it. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Right here, John chapter 7 and verse 38. He says, He that believeth on me, as the scripture have said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water. Hold on one sec, yo.
Con. Yeah, just to
And,
expound on what the bro.
oh,
Go
go ahead.
ahead, King.
I was about to say, Lee got his coffee and got his coffee and ran away.
It's all good.
Go
Maybe
ahead.
we
Yeah,
start.
that's topic.
Yeah, maybe we start hitting the scriptures too much. You know what I mean? We got a little bit off topic.
Yeah, because he really wanted to focus on the man-made stargates that these super smart people have figured out from the ancients how to recreate and back engineer. So now they know how to use these stargates, and they're going to purposely distinguish the sun so that the world economies can go pure ham or whatever, and so that they can, you know what I'm saying, kill off as many people as they can, because they run out of resources. See, that's why wars are periodic. You know, they happen every 5 years, every 7 years, or something like that, because a war takes up all the resources that they had collected during they've been saving up for 7, 8 years, and then they do a war, and so they start saving up again. That's why they want people to work as hard as they can and do these things. And then they keep saving up, and then they do another war. You know what I'm saying? That's how they do things. So now they figure they keep running out of resources. They're not killing people fast enough. They want everybody dead. You know what I'm saying? As many people as they can. So they don't think it's effective. So they gonna use stargates, and they have to they got to use a lot of water to make the stargates work, and then use the negative light from that system to distinguish the sun, and this will kill as many people as they need to kill. Without the sun, you know what I'm saying, you can't get food, and it's gonna be cold and all the rest of that stuff.
Con.
People gonna be going crazy and killing each other and stuff like that.
Yeah. Go ahead, Amaziah.
Alright. Well, basically what I was saying was, and let me pull up some more scriptures here to go along with that.
Con.
John chapter 7 and 38, right? Okay, so what my premise is basically is that the Holy Spirit, right? I've always thought of the Holy Spirit as a type of water element, right? And spiritual things is like water, because you know how he says we have to be born of water and the Spirit, and then all life comes out of water, right?
Con.
So like, you know, I was telling y'all the other day about Dan Tien, or the Sea of Chi, in Chinese and Kung Fu, right? And basically, we have to, like, I know some people probably disagree with me on saying this. We have to cultivate that life force within ourselves. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
We have to cultivate the spirit. We have to cultivate our bodies to make the spirit make this body more comfortable for him to dwell in. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes with along with meditation. Now, as y'all have heard me speak on before, there's right ways and wrong ways to do things. So when it comes to like chakras and things like that, that's the wrong way, right? But when I think of stuff like that now, there's scientific processes that uh, are basically can be broken down to explain those things. So the ancients had an understanding of things that back then that science is just now figuring out. You feel what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Joshua 1 and 8 says, "This book of the law shall not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, and thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success." Right? Let's see here. So it says in Joshua, "Thou shalt make thy way prosperous." Let me go back to John chapter 4 again, real quick. John chapter 4, verses 14. "For whosoever drinketh of the water that I shall give him shall never thirst, but the water that I shall give him shall be in him a well of water springing up into everlasting life." And we think of everlasting life, we think of our ways being prosperous. Psalms 1 and 2 says, "But his delight is in the law of Yahuwah, and his law doth he meditate day and night." Okay. Psalm 63 and 6 says, "When I remember thee upon my bed, and meditate on thee in the night watches." Um, Psalms 119 and 15, "I will meditate in thy precepts and have respect unto thy ways." 119 and 23 states, "Princes also did sit and speak against me, but thy servant did meditate in thy statutes." Okay, so in the law, let's see here. Let me get some more scriptures about the law. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Proverbs 13 and 14. "The law of the wise is a fountain of life," right? "To depart from the snares of death." Okay. So there's, let me see. I can get some better ones than that. At first I thought maybe it's just that, maybe it's because we don't teach about Yahusha enough. Maybe we don't preach, the cross as much. You know what I mean? But I'm starting to see it's basically a combination of the things that I'm mentioning now. And this is me trying to seek this out and get understanding. Psalms 21:4 says, "He asked life of thee, and thou gavest it him, even length of days forever and ever." Job 12 and 12 says, with the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding." Let's see. Proverbs 3 and 16 says, "Length of days is in her right hand, and in her left hand riches and honor." All right. Let's see. Let me go. Let's see. Got another one. Deuteronomy 5 and 16. "Honor thy father and thy mother, as Yahuwah, or Yahuwah al-Haikah," which is Yahuwah your Elohim, "hath commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee in the land which Yahuwah al-Haikah giveth thee." Right? And let's see, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1. It says, "Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments which Yahuwah al-Haikah commanded teach you, that ye might do them in the land whither ye go to possess it, that thou mightest fear Yahuwah al-Haikah, to keep all his statutes and his commandments which I command thee, thou and thy son and thy son's sons, all the days of thy life, and that thy days may be prolonged." Now I'm going to read through the first commandment. You're going to see something interesting here as well, another precept. "Hear therefore, O Israel." Let me share my screen with y'all, man. This is like the biggest reason that I know me and Devar had a little disagreement, but that wasn't really why I wasn't coming back on here, because we haven't even addressed that. This is the biggest reason why I've kind of been set back from doing hangouts and stuff like that, because I've been really trying to figure out, I'm like, man, I just don't feel like I'm doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? and I'm trying to figure out what the right thing is. You know what I mean? Before I, like I want to go back out in the street and stuff like that, but there's like, I just don't feel like, uh, you know what I mean? Until I feel like until I really
Yeah,
like
yeah, like
figure
you
this
ain't
out and
right.
operate under the spirit, yeah, you know what I mean? Instead of just
Yeah, then that's why I won't go king. You know what I mean? I want to, but I don't feel like I'm right. You know what I mean?
con. Let's see here. Deuteronomy 6:3 says, "Hear therefore, O Israel, and observe to do it, that it may be well with thee, and that ye may increase mightily, as Yahuwah Ahaka of thy fathers, of thy Ab, right, or Abib, hath promised thee, in the land that floweth with milk and honey." Hear, O Israel, Yahuwah Ahaka is one, Achad, right, united. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people think, um, like how we talk about monotheism and polytheism, right? But they'll be like, oh, well, you got Jesus and the Holy Spirit, and you got the angels and stuff like that. That word one is achad, so it's united. You know what I'm saying? And thou shalt love Yahuwah Ahaka with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. So this right here is the biggest part of all of it. Because when you do, I understand why Mashiach said this is like the greatest commandment, because when you're doing everything in there, then you're displaying this right here. You know what I'm saying? Which we all know, if you love me, follow my commandments, right? And these words which I command thee this day shall be in thine heart. It's very interesting. It's going to be in thine heart, right? Not just in your brain. Your heart controls your cognitive functions, thinking. And thou shalt teach them diligently unto thy children, and shalt talk of them when thou sittest in thine house, and when thou walkest by the way, and when thou liest down, and when thou risest up. Right? So this happens to us automatically when we start reading the scriptures, but we're still like, kind of coming up short. You know what I'm saying? This is the automatic reaction that we have when we first start learning, and the deeper we get into it, the more we read. It's pretty much all we want to talk about. We get so absorbed in it, right? But that's part of it. That's a commandment. And thou shalt bind them for a sign upon thine hand, and they shall be as frontlets between thine eyelids. All right. So it's supposed to be like so deep. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be so deep. You know what I mean? We basically supposed to have like, uh, you know, it's saying like it's gonna be like you got bracelets with commandments on, and you got your lokes on, but you like reading the commandments behind it. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
And thou shalt write them upon the posts of thy house and on thy gates. It's like how you see white women that putting sticky notes on their refrigerators, all that bullshit motivational type shit. This scriptures is our motivation. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
Let's see. But yeah, midnight, right here, from verses 4 to verses 9, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like that pretty much sums it up when it comes to actually like following and doing the commandments. It gives us like a very, very good example, and you can precept this in Proverbs. Let me get that real quick. I got it in my notes. Of course, in Mark as well, in the book of Mark. Okay, I got a new Bible, so I got it in here. Let me see. Let me try Proverbs 3:3. Let's see.
Yeah, I got one too. Matthew 10:1. And when he had called unto him his 12 disciples, he gave them power against unclean spirits to cast them out, and to heal all manner of sickness and all manner of disease.
Right, right. And to the normal Christian retard, they didn't have the Holy Spirit back then. So, but they got to, you know what I mean? They got that power though. So how was they doing it? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Through faith. You know what I mean? But right here, Proverbs 3:3, let not mercy and truth forsake thee, bind them about thy neck, write them upon the table of thine heart.
Yeah, and so look too. Was you finished with that verse?
Which one?
The one you just read.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, because I felt like I was cutting you off. But
No. I just now pulled that up.
okay. So like, you see, now he didn't have only 12 disciples. He had thousands of disciples.
Yeah, 70. He first sent out 70.
You know what I'm saying? Until he said, "You eat my flesh" or whatever, and then they didn't understand it, and they all left. Now the people that made it to the end, endured to the end, to them he gave the power against unclean spirits. Everybody couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? So you got to be past that power from the highest through prayer and fasting.
Con. This Proverbs 6:21 says, "Bind them continually upon thine heart." Let's see here. It's Proverbs 6:20. My son, keep thy father's commandments, and forsake not the law of thy mother. Bind them continually upon thine heart, and tie them about thy neck. All right. So this is something, man, that like I said, I wanted to try to set up a conference. I don't know when I'll be able to do that or not, but like I really need to get some other brothers' input because I feel like this is the most important aspect that we really, really need to be focused on because when it comes to like this is the way I look at it, right? Y'all might think I'm kind of jumping around a little bit. I don't mean to, but when it comes to uh, psychokinetic abilities, right?
Mhm.
I learned like, okay, if you can bend a spoon, so what? You know what I mean?
Right.
All the next motherfucker's gonna want to do is learn how the fuck you did it. That's it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying?
Con.
You're not bringing nobody to Hamashiach that way. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
If if I knew how to communicate telepathically, how's that helping anybody?
There you go.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what Paul talks about in 1 Corinthians 13 is charity,
There you go.
right?
So,
Charity is synonymous with love, ain't it?
exactly.
Con,
Selfish sharing of power, whether that
con,
power be the miraculous powers, uh, your time, your knowledge, money, food, shelter. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Selfless sharing of power, charity.
con. And so, you know, if we could get this down and figure this out, because I've started a kind of a new meditative regimen. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
For myself, but I really feel like this is of the utmost importance. You know what I'm saying? Because
That's
For
what
real.
we could really, really be bringing people to Hamashiach, to the Ab. You know what I'm saying?
exactly, because we providing evidence straight out the gate. Bring me a stick and shut in, bam, healed. How did you do that? From Mashiach.
Right. And then we're not out on the street debating and motherfuckers yelling at us and niggers and dealing with all the extra shit.
Yeah.
Con. And earlier today when I had my little lesson, I went into that. You know what I mean? How the tree of life and the speech that we use, you know. And it's funny how when you went to Proverbs 6 and you went to 20, it also, like when you jump up to 16, it talks about his abominations, the things that are abominations to him, you know.
Oh yeah, where he's like, let me go back to that real quick.
Yeah, I got it right now. You want me to read it out?
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it says, these 16 doeth the Lord hate, yea, 7 are an abomination unto him. A proud look, a lying tongue, hands that shed innocent blood, and heart that devise wicked imaginations, feet that are swift in running to mischief, a false witness that speaketh lies, and he that soweth discord among brethren.
Con. And then
And you know,
go ahead.
now I was just going to say, you know, when I go into my lessons, you know, them are some of those are a lot of the things I focus on. You know what I mean? I talk about brotherly love, I talk about your speech, I talk about your mentality, you know what I mean, and things of that nature.
Con. And then I want to precept that too, because I mentioned it. 1 Corinthians 13 says, "And now abideth faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity." Hold on, I'll be right back, y'all.
Yeah, and that's, you know, that's a powerful message to get you on track, you know, to get that foundation under you, to be able to run a household, to be able to handle pressure. You know what I mean? Because when you're under pressure, pressure can break you, man. It can tear you down. It can tear down your household. You know, you're supposed to give no way for the devil to attack you. And if you have that solid foundation inside of you, there's no way that he can even approach you, man. And that's a beautiful thing that the brother bringing out, you know.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because see, like you had the Christian saying that this power left when the last apostle died. Now that's impossible because an apostle would not have left. He would not have died without having at least two disciples to do the same thing he did, and then they would have kept on. You know what I'm saying? The knowledge, they would have kept the knowledge secure. And but see, they have to be so secretive about their situation because, you know, I don't know why. Hold on a second here. Yeah, because how are they getting? Yeah, I guess people are killing them. You know what I'm saying? But the Heavenly Father is allowing them to be killed, like, to keep, I guess, the same motivation that allowed. I don't know. I don't want to say anything that misleads somebody out. You know what I'm saying? So let's just stop right there.
That fear, bro. That fear.
Yeah.
They didn't fear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They was dying for their book.
Yeah. So that's exactly what I'm saying. That the next man that they had discipled, you know what I'm saying? Any apostle don't leave at the minimum two disciples that can do the same thing he could do. And then those two gonna have to, and then, you know what I'm saying, so forth and so on. And then the death of them just shows them that they are mortal. So like it shows them that physical death is nothing to fear. So that just keeps them motivated unto death. Okay.
That's right.
Okay. Like that.
Yep. Because like I talk about, you
Plus,
know.
you can't get into the kingdom with this flimsy body anyway.
Anyway, that's right. I was just finna say that. You know, he put us in these coats of skin. You know, what I mean, this physical body, because we not ready. And when we ready, he'll shed you of it. But if you ain't right, you ain't gonna.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Pass on.
Yeah, see, you can the Heavenly Father, sometimes the Heavenly Father will call you home because you know what I'm saying, now you so mature, you know what I'm saying, now you can do heavenly work. You know what I'm saying? You done already duplicated yourself on earth. So you got people left behind, you know what I'm saying, here on earth who can do what you've done, and they are motivated to do that. So they're gonna go on doing and handling your business while you're needed in heaven to do some work.
That's right. Yep, and you know that brings me to the story of Jonah. You know what I mean? Jonah, he didn't even want to do what the Most High said. He was running from the Most High. He tell you, you know what I mean? And when he went on the seas, the Most High caught him up, and he got swallowed by that whale. You know, because the Most High probably would have destroyed all the people with him. And he was like, "Okay, it's me." You know what I mean? Because he already knew. But when he was in that belly, you know, he was praying to the Most High. He finally was like, "Okay, I'm gonna submit to your will."
Yeah. He finally
Yep, and he finally got it. Yep,
let
and
go and
that's
let God.
yep. That's just like Paul. Paul he had to knock Paul off a horse because
Yep.
he was so high and mighty. He thought he was persecuting his people.
Knocked him off his high horse.
That's right. You know, and he
And I
finally, you
know,
know,
but look, that's an aggressive act. And knock somebody off the horse. So I know they see like people, Christians, or everybody reads the Bible so calmly. But I can guarantee you that man was talking harsh. You know what I'm saying? Not,
kind.
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, man, who you think you persecuting? Why are you persecuting my people? I bet he said it real mean. Or he might have said it peaceful to keep him calm though. Ain't no telling.
Kind man, the most high is awesome. People don't realize, you know, but I see it every day. I see people going out thinking they go commit wickedness, you know, just like what's going on. The police might come over. It may be a routine traffic stop, but blah for no reason, you know.
Yeah,
That's because you wicked and you won't turn from your wicked ways. So he got to put you out of your misery, man.
for real. You doing too much damage out here.
Yeah.
You got to go.
Yep. And the only reason I think the only reason that he allowing his people who is like the disciples to get put to death is because the wicked got to come to a head. It got to be like the tares and the wheat. They got to grow up together because he could destroy everything, you know, but he want everything to manifest so we could see that's wicked right there. And when we inherit that kingdom, get the kingdom, we hey, it'll be all good.
Absolutely.
I was
Absolutely.
finna say it backward. Hey, that's gonna be bad. You know what I mean? Meaning good. So you know, but you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the one of the tricks of the devil. He turned everything upside down and backwards.
Yeah, but we need this instant evidence that Amaziah talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So this will be a good study. You know
Con.
what I'm saying? Like I said, when I first, you know what I'm saying, when I first read and started studying the Bible and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, I was all right. But when I found out my nationality, well, I went stupid hard. Started doing the miracle ministry, and
Con.
it worked. It worked for some people. You know what I'm saying?
That's right.
So I was impressed by that, but I didn't know what I was doing, and I was wondering why it would work for some people and not work for other people. You know what I'm saying? And I rationalized it by saying, because I have to convince them to have faith. And I'm not a convincing good at convincing because my whole life I never enjoyed convincing people, so I never learned the skill of convincing people.
Con. And
You either
that's a
believe
gift
or you
too.
don't. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah,
when I
that's a
read the
gift too.
Bible, he would just ask people, "Do you believe I can do this for you?" If they say yes, he said, "Okay, you healed." Bam. If they say no, he You know what I'm saying? You're not accepting the flow of energy. You're not accepting that healing power.
See, Mary and Martha really didn't know what the hell was going on.
Nope.
She was like, "Oh yeah, I know he's gonna come back in the afterlife, or after the resurrection, which is the afterlife." But I want y'all to think about this though, man. You think that if we can't get it right now, that shit just gonna somehow jump up on us when we in the FEMA camp somewhere?
Yeah, as long as we keep studying and figure out the process of how it really works.
I'm saying if they snatch us up this year,
If if we pray right now every day to receive that type of power, eventually you're gonna get it because the Heavenly Father's gonna trust you to have it. But at the same time, you got to be sinless. You know what I'm saying? Or do you?
and
No,
when's the
you.
last time?
What I'm saying is miracles is without repentance. So you can do miracles without and still be a sinner. That's what I'm saying.
The
But
gifts and the callings
you better make sure
the
that
same
you
way.
master not sinning too along that process. But what I'm saying is, if we pray right now every day to receive that power, you definitely gonna get it automatic. I don't know it works faster for some than others.
Con.
Man, 'cause I know I was sitting in the cell one time, man, and they used to give us these blueberry cakes every morning, right? For breakfast and junk, right? I was like, man, I wonder if I just broke this joint off and started giving away to people if it would recreate the same miracle.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a wonderful thought to have.
Hey, yeah, 'cause I mean, like I've told y'all, man, like, I've done a lot of dirt and stuff in my life and whatnot, but I've always read the Bible, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
I've always believed in it. So when I was in there, that was pretty much all I was doing. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And I was like, man, at the same time, my mom was like, if I break this joint off and it don't start growing back, I ain't giving it away. Because that's how it would have had to have gone down, man, if you think about it, right?
Mhm.
He had, let me see, it said, and Yahusha took the loaves. Let me see, how many did he have? John 6. He had 5 loaves, right? In John 6. They would have had to broke a piece off and it just grew back.
Con.
That's how that would have went down.
Right, right. And the realists, the people who don't believe in the power, the absolute power of the Heavenly Father just to create things out of thin air, say that they shared the bread, and then the other people in the audience became empathetic and pulled their bread out.
What?
You ain't never heard that one before.
Nah, I ain't never heard that one out.
Oh damn! Because I was sitting
That's
around
what
hungry.
Christian. That's what Christian pastor said. Talking about. What? Who told? Why you think it was only 5 loaves and 2 fish? Who said it was only 5 loaves and 2 fish? I said, what? That's what the book say. Talking about, talking about the people in the audience shared their food with everybody. That's why they got so much left over.
They was waiting for everybody to leave before they pulled theirs out. They was sitting there hungry like, damn, I ain't sharing with that
I ain't
nigga.
sharing mine.
Right.
But hey, I mean, that's a it's
That's
hilarious,
crazy.
but I'm just saying, it's still from a rational point of view. If you want to cancel out all the powerful miracles out of the Bible, then that's one of the cancellations. right there.
Man, 7 baskets left over.
Mm-hmm. Since the little boy just gave, you know what I'm saying? Wow.
But then, like, I was talking to the brother today, Plan 8, and I kind of used the reference because he was talking about how like Jay-Z and them, like, they won't go back to their old neighborhoods because people only want stuff from them. You know what I mean? And I'm
Yeah.
not really trying to compare Jay-Z to Christ and nothing like that, but he got on that boat and went to the other side, and they met him over there, and he was like, y'all just came over here not because y'all want to hear me speak, but because y'all got fed.
Oh.
Yeah. That
Oh, so
makes
he didn't
sense.
like that. Huh?
So what?
He didn't like that he was getting attention for the wrong reasons.
Right. Let me read that real quick. See here. It says, this is John 6:24. When the people therefore saw that Yahushua was not there, neither his disciples, they also took shipping and came to Capernaum seeking for Yahushua. And when they had found him on the other side of the sea, they said unto him, Rabbi, when camest thou hither? Yahushua answered them and said, Verily, verily, I say unto you, ye seek me not because ye saw the miracles, but because ye did eat of the loaves and were filled. Right? He says, labor not for the meat. And of course, we know meat is meat ain't flesh, right? It's like herbs and bread and stuff like that. It says, labor not for the meat which perisheth, but for that meat which endureth unto everlasting life, which the Son of Man shall give unto you. For him hath Yahuwah the Father sealed.
Yeah, and that's a problem with a lot of our people. That's how they being led astray. They going after the vanity, after that after the riches or whatever the case may be. You know what I mean? But it's not because of the love or the charity that somebody can do for
Mm.
Right. Like he said right there, he's like, y'all didn't even come over here because it was a miracle. You know what I'm saying?
them.
Y'all came over here because you ate.
Feed your bellies.
Right.
It talks about that a lot in the Bible.
Yep.